Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner and I'm here with James Farley.
Hello.
I'm here with Sean Bell.
All right.
And for the first time on the internet in a long time, it's Matt Murray.
Hello there.
Well,
now, let me explain, because we usually get a influx of new listeners during E3, so this might be the first time you're hearing the show. This is how we do E3. We take it in turns once a year for one of us to completely avoid the internet for a week, completely avoid all E3 news, and the three of us, the other three, get to tell that person what happened. Will we tell the truth? Or will we bullshit? Let's find out. Matt, how's it been? How's the week been?
It's been strange. I mean, I've been away on holiday, which is very nice. I feel quite relaxed. And the first couple of days, there was like a bit of almost like a like muscle memory where I just opened my phone. And there was no Instagram to go to. There was no Twitter to go to. But the last few days, I guess like since say Wednesday or Tuesday, Wednesday, it's been fine. I mean, obviously I've been busy with a holiday. If I was just at home and or working, I don't know how I would have coped. But I had enough things to take my mind off it on holiday, so it wasn't as much of an issue. But
did you either get like? Because we've all had moments where there's been a glimmer of a hint of something that happened at E3. I mean, for example, for me, it was Joe saying, "Oh, I know what happened at the Nintendo conference," which sent my mind spinning because I thought, well, if she knows, then something big's got to have been announced, blah, blah, blah. And then I freaked out. James just rocked up and found out the name of the Xbox console last year. Talking about popping into game. Popping into game.
It was not on Reddit. Look, don't start that again.
Well, this is it, Sean. You've missed this because we've got like a iMessage group that we chat on.
Oh, yeah.
And so we've been just checking in, making sure that Matt's okay because we know how addicted he is to the internet. And for some reason, James just come out swinging against Matt because Matt watched a World Cup game yesterday. And I sort of said, look, what happens during the ad breaks? Because there was stuff announced that might be on the ad breaks. And he was like, I'll do what I can. And then James was like, this is shocking behaviour, Matt. I cannot believe you're doing this.
Yeah, because
James,
if I'd have
you
done
on
that...
Reddit. You were on Reddit and the Guardian website last year. You did not give a shit.
Right? I went on Reddit because there was good reasons for that. I wasn't summoned in.
Yeah.
We'd just gone through like a general election where Theresa May had melted down, and I wanted to know what was going on.
Unbelievable. The Guardian website? Why were you on there?
Well, yeah, briefly, but I didn't go on any of like...
This is what I'm talking about. The thing is, we wouldn't even be talking about... James, we wouldn't even be talking about this had you not dug Matt out completely like yesterday, sort of having a go at him. I will tell you a couple of things, Matt, because before we get started, there's a few things you might have missed while you were not on the internet. Did you know?
Just answer your question. No, I mean, basically, I've been in the woods for a week, and no one, like Jill, obviously isn't into games and isn't into that, and the people we're with aren't into it either. So I don't have like the single shred of an idea what could or could not happen.
Oh my god, this is too perfect. Like, I mean, honestly. There's so much to tell Matt. There's so much to tell you. It's unbelievable.
It's true. I've got literally pages and pages of notes here to go through.
Well, not until today when I turned around and said, "I can't believe you didn't take notes when you were going." you were like the loser at school going, "Can I see your notes? Can I see your notes for the test, mate?"
Yeah, but
and I went, "Have you not taken notes?"
But no, I have now.
I've got reason for it.
I've got RSI now, David, because I've been typing so fast, like over the last couple of.
You've been copying and pasting from Kotaku,
yeah, that's what he did. He logged into Eurogamer just before. Went, oh my god, they haven't got a list. I'm going to have to sort this out. I'll tell you a couple of things. Sean started streaming.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah? That's very exciting. He literally.
Are you streaming from like the TCGS account?
No, he's not. No, he's not, Matt. He's literally set up a new project to stream with someone else.
Well, hang on. It's not primarily a streaming thing. That was just because we fancied.
Why aren't you streaming from the TCGS account? You're supposed to be a member of this podcast.
Because I was streaming with Chris Spann. Do you want Chris Spann on the TCGS Twitch account?
Absolutely not. Stream on your own. Why are you streaming with Chris Spann?
Why are you fixating on the streaming thing? That's not even mainly what it is.
Because you did it, and we've got an account. All right, minus Chris Spann, but James, make a like for like substitution
So what? Anyway, so is this the new thing with Andy, or was it a separate project?
It's with Andy, yeah, and Chris Van and Cammy Toman.
Oh, nice.
How do you know about
and
that?
others?
Because that happened before I went away.
Okay.
Yeah. He did. They did set
James.
up it. Yeah.
Okay.
Although, did you see what happened to the Twitter account, Matt?
To which one?
The Data Beast one for the new project.
No, I did follow it. What happened?
I mean, I won't go on. Andy, when setting up the Twitter account, right? So it asks you for your date of birth.
Oh, I made the same mistake, actually. I think if I know what you're going to say.
Okay,
what,
yeah. So basically, he put basically the current date, because it was like, it's a business account. It's a there you go. And it's been blocked because after several days, Twitter emailed us saying, "Oh, we think you might be under 13."
Yeah, I did that because I thought, what would be nice is if I put like the date TCGS started and they'd be like, today our birthday. But then I did that and it said, and basically it was like some really complicated situation where I had to log in from another phone or get some verification text or something. It's awful.
Well, we've had to send a fucking driving license over with.
I guess there's a chance that I might have done that. Is a long time ago. Yeah, so now our podcast is now 22 years old because that was the best I could do.
Also, although you've been avoiding internet, Matt, you've been a part of it. You've been a part of it over the past, say, 3 days.
How so? I'm genuinely scared. I don't like this. I'm glad I'm not doing this again for number 4 years.
So, I'm not going to call you a meme yet.
Oh, no.
But you're on your way.
You are getting there.
On after one of the conferences, I don't want to ruin it. I turned, you're leaving the internet show.
Yeah.
I turned a clip from that of you deleting Twitter into a GIF and tweeted it from the TCGS account with the caption blank. Now we go live to blank headquarters, right? And it was the image of you like deleting Twitter, right? I woke up the next morning, had one over 1,000 retweets.
Oh,
and since then, we're now on 2,400 at last check, just before recording, right? And not only that, various people were tweeting that GIF throughout the conference. Every time something went wrong, someone would say such and such headquarters and have you deleting the tweet. So it hasn't been as widespread as like a proper meme where you see it in your timeline constantly, but I've got a feeling that if it continues at this pace,
it's pretty
you
good,
will be a proper meme.
You got your pink shorts and everything. It looks
Do you know what's beautiful? Do you know what's beautiful? Is that the man that's obsessed with shit memes might become a shit meme.
Oh, I'll take that, I guess. Yeah, I haven't even watched or had a chance, obviously, to rewatch or being able to rewatch that streamer thing I did on Friday.
Shit.
It's really good,
well, literally,
man.
It's
really
perfect.
Yeah.
It was a great show, but it's perfect because you could see the screen of you deleting Twitter on the left-hand side, you deleting Twitter, and then you sort of do this like weird shrug at the camera afterwards, and it's like and not only that, because you're in half a suit and pink shorts, it just is fucking perfect.
Can I ask, Matt, I don't want to lift the curtain too much. Those photographs you had of Dave and James, was that just for the show, or is that just the photographs of them you have set as
your... had them since we've
been...
So
I realised that afterwards. Yeah, so basically, James is genuinely drunk in that shot, and I think in Dave's one, that's when we were like pretending to do drunk selfies. And, I think, so...
See, I've got... Do you know what was bad about that, Matt? Is that then David uploaded that to YouTube, like the whole thing. And you have like the keyframe. He chose the keyframe of me. Like,
no, I didn't. That was what was at the default.
As
that
genuinely...
No, it was the default, and Dave chose not to do anything about it. That's the...
I chose... That's what I did. I chose not to do anything.
I did make Jill check that you had uploaded it. Yeah.
So if you're listening for the first time, it's me, James Farley, Sean Bell, and the deleting the Twitter guy. You're going to be one of those documentaries on Channel 4 in 10 years.
It's only a matter of time before you're on Reddit, Matt.
I want to be as big as blinking white guy.
I don't think it's a meme until they start photoshopping him deleting other things, like just random shit. They change the icon or whatever. I can't wait. Oh, God, right. Okay. E3 2018. Matt, do you want me to go through it?
Please.
Are you ready?
I'm genuinely nervous and a bit scared, but let's do it.
So here's how it's going to work. This is genuine as well. I'm not bullshitting. I just wrote a stream of consciousness while watching these press conferences. What I'm going to read that word for word for you now, right? So a lot of it won't make sense. Guys, if I miss something, please pull me up on it. I think I got everything though. I was pretty good throughout. Mm-hmm. The only things that I didn't watch were the smaller ones like Bethesda and Ubisoft, but Sean's got that covered.
Okay. What about Devolver?
Yeah, we got that.
I didn't watch. I watched
it. It was hilarious and just crazy. So
yeah, we'll do that. Don't worry.
Okay. Yeah, there's things connected to that as well. But yeah, go on.
Okay, right. So we will start with EA. This is what I've got written down. Weird CGI intro for Anthem. So they started with Anthem. And it was when I say weird CGI intro, it was kind of like a hologram thing, wasn't it? On stage, was it a hologram?
It was one of those weird augmented reality things where it was like, obviously,
is it like one of the things that have like dead rappers when like they had like two?
No, it's a little bit better than that.
So the audience won't have seen shit. It was just there was a camera behind the audience, which then made it look like stuff was coming out of the screen that was in the room. If that makes sense. They do it at like there's some famous, League of Legends. There was some tournament they did in like a fucking stadium because that game's massive and none of us play it. Where it's like, oh look, there's this fucking dragon flying around. As long as you look at the screen and don't actually look up at the sky, because there is no dragon. It's just bollocks.
Okay, so Anthem. So CG
Anthem
trailer.
So it's just it wasn't really a trailer. It was just like an intro thing where they had something there.
I can't remember any of our predictions, so we'll obviously cover that next week.
Don't worry about that. The predictions. So if you're listening for the first time, last week we made predictions. Next week we'll go through them. We're not discussing predictions today because there's usually massive arguments about whether someone scores a point or not. And looking at the predictions I've got written down from last week's show, there's going to be massive arguments again.
I know exactly what you're going to do with these. You're
all right, smart ass. Just chill out. Wait until next week, before you start all this shit. Right, okay. So who was it? Andrea Renee come out?
Yeah, Andrea Renee, yeah.
So she was presenting it. We know her from the Weekend Confirmed days. So she comes out and tells us, basically, she explained everything that's going to happen during the conference. So she went through it, the whole conference, and said, this is what's going to happen. And then at the end of the sentence said, but that's not everything. And it was like, okay, so what was the point in any of that? Like, it was weird. Okay. They opened with Battlefield 5 multiplayer. But again, it was all weird because they said we're going to. This is about Battlefield 5 multiplayer, and then they started talking about the single player. So it was a bit like, what are you doing here? But the big news to come out of that, they come out and they said there's no loot boxes and no premium pass, and it got a massive round of applause.
Yeah, they made a big thing out of that.
They announced both of that pre-E3, didn't they?
Yeah, and they didn't announce this. They sort of hinted at it, but they didn't announce it. Then they turned around and said, we're going to add something that you've all been asking for, and they just said Royale.
What?
That was it. They didn't say Battle Royale. They said Royale. And so basically Battle Royale's coming to Battlefield.
Sorry, Andrew Renee just said Royale.
No, not Andrew Renee. One of the devs at DICE.
Okay.
Come out and said that.
I mean, the thing that was weird about that, though, is that didn't you feel that the reaction to that scene kind of muted as well, though?
Well, I'd heard on podcasts since that there was a lot of groaning in the audience.
Oh, okay.
I didn't get that from watching the stream. I thought it was quite a good response, but apparently, no, there was a lot of groaning in the audience. Battle Royale, a theme throughout.
You don't say.
And instantly met with some groans, apparently. But okay, so that was Battlefield. They then went on to talk about FIFA 19. So FIFA 19 was the next game that they announced. And of course, what was the main focus, Matt?
Battle Royale.
Correct. Battle Royale. What? FIFA. No, I'm joking. It was the Champions League, obviously. So they started off with the music.
Now?
Yeah. They started off with the music, and I was texting Sean, and I said, the weird thing is, Sean, and I'm not trying to be patronising, you don't know how significant this is now, because now FIFA has got everything. Like, it's insane. Someone on Twitter said something like, they haven't got such and such thing from the German league. And I'm like, mate, honestly, really? You bringing that? Like, they've got the Champions League now. They've got, like, all the licenses. This is And they made a big thing of it. They knew that this was a big deal.
Have they got Europa League? Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Have they got Europa League?
Well, it's UEFA. Isn't it both of them UEFA?
Yeah, because PES had both of them, so I would assume it's FIFA's now got both of them.
Yeah, I would assume it's the same thing. But you ain't going to go on stage and go, yeah, we got Europa League, guys. They literally had the Champions League trophy on stage, Matt.
Oh, amazing.
They literally had it on stage.
So all these announcements, by now, you knew they're going to say, you knew they're going to talk about Battlefield, then FIFA, so now it's a surprise because they'd already outlined it.
No, not really.
Okay, weird.
Okay. No surprises. And then this was a bit of a surprise. They went from FIFA 19 to FIFA 18, and they spoke about the fact that they've got the World Cup on FIFA 18. It was weird. They sort of said, hey, we got a free trial for FIFA 18, go and download it. And I'm like, well, you already have on EA Access, and it's like 10 quid in the shops these days. It's not exactly this big get for them. I don't know why they were crowing about that so much. But they seemed very excited that the World Cup was on FIFA 18.
It's weird though. Have you played it at all, Dave?
No, I haven't, not since the update. Not those modes anyway.
Because there's not much there. Like, there's really not much. It's really
isn't it just what do you call it? What is that?
It's just tournament mode. That's it. There's the tournament mode. There's Ultimate Team stuff, and then you can also play single games. But that's about it, really. There's not like. Do you remember a couple of years ago when they used to make those like they used to have downloads where there really was like a lot of content as well. Like they had like historic games and all that kind of stuff, and that was really great.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's none of that. It's pretty bare bones. I think.
No, it's been like that for a while though, James. Since they moved it from standalone titles to these updates for the normal FIFA, that's what it's been.
Well, that's understandable, I guess. But I'd rather pay a bit of money and have some more content. It would be fine.
Yeah. So at this point, it feels pretty underwhelming.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're like 5 minutes in, Matt. Like, calm down. If you want to be underwhelmed, stay listening. They then come out on stage and they started talking about cloud streaming. EA, by the sounds of it, are going to be cloud streaming their own service at some point in the near future.
As in Origin or...
Yeah,
they're sort of linking it to Origin. Yeah, it wasn't really specifically said, was it?
Yeah, it was.
The streaming stuff was kept really vague, wasn't it? That was my...
Yeah, but what it is they've got this thing, they're creating this new thing called Origin Access Premier.
Well, hang on, that's separate. That's separate.
No, it's not. It's not separate, because I've been looking this up. What happens is you pay $100 a year, and then you get access to all the EA games and all that on PC. But in the future, it's probably going to incorporate the streaming stuff as well.
See what I mean? He just drops words like probably, which means this is what I'm saying. No, it's not. No, I've been looking it up, and it means that they're probably going to be.
That's what they're going to do.
How do you know?
Been confirmed,
so that's a fact, is it?
Nothing's been confirmed.
Nothing's been confirmed.
They just said that's something they're looking at in the future as being something
to be clear, Origin Access already exists, and it's similar to EA Access that you get on the Xbox, but this is for your PC. However, Origin Access Premier is going to have everything, including brand new releases on it. So it's literally pay this, you have all EA games forever. Well, not forever, but
so basically a bit like Game Pass.
Yeah.
On PC only. Yeah.
So I'm James
sort of tempted.
Bundles into the conversation and says, "No, I know what's right. It's probably going to be."
I don't understand what is wrong with you here.
Sean, am I wrong?
Not entirely.
That's exactly what
I
happened.
haven't clarified the streaming thing. What did they actually say?
Not
they
much.
Said that it's they just said they're looking into the future.
Yeah, there's something.
There was a bit of a trailer for it, wasn't it? It was like people playing brand new console games on their phone or whatever. But I mean, we'll see.
Oh wow! Okay, so it's going to stream to mobiles as well.
Yeah.
Basically, the way that it made me feel was that they were trying to cut out the middleman, and that you would subscribe to EA. It's something we've been talking about for ages. I personally thought it had gone away, and that it was never actually going to happen. But it looks like EA are bang up for doing this, so it looks like it's happening.
I mean, EA Access. On Xbox, it's £20 a year. It's 20 quid relatively. It's obviously tiny compared to some other subscriptions, and it's well worth it. But then another £100 for a different service? I guess this is more geared towards PC and/or mobile players, I guess.
But also because you get all the new releases as well, because with EA Access you don't get that, do you?
It's and the way I'm looking at it is so they confirmed that Anthem's going to be on it, and along with everything else. So
oh really?
Part of me is I was probably going to shell out £50 for Anthem anyway, So for 90 quid, I can get that plus whatever else EA decides to shove out this year. That's all right.
No, it's not terrible.
Yeah, that's interesting. When is so Anthem? They've always said it's out like March or April next year. But
they did give a date, didn't they? It's February. I forget the actual day, but it's February 2019. Yeah.
Okay, and when's this thing launching?
It's already out, I think, isn't it? Origin Access Premiere.
What the Origin Access is, but is the Premiere one already started?
I'm not sure.
Interesting.
I mean, no one was rushing to do it, so. But yeah,
no. They went on to announce that NFL was coming to the PC for the first time in a decade. That seemed to go down well, to be fair. It's just we weren't the audience for it. Sorry, Matt. Sorry, James.
And FIFA as well.
I assumed by the way they were talking, it was like just the first time in a decade for NFL. Is FIFA not
hasn't been on PC for ages either, is it?
I didn't know that. They didn't make a thing of that. They made more of a thing of NFL. Then I've put Andrea Renee. Really trying to get the crowd going, but failing. The crowd are awful, and they were awful. They were appalling. It was a real flat atmosphere in there, wasn't it? It was bizarre.
That's EA's fault, though, isn't it? I mean, they weren't exactly bringing excitement.
Yeah, they didn't kick off. Yeah, they didn't kick off.
So was it like a traditional theatre setup? Because I know last year they had all the influencers and like people playing games next to the people doing announcements.
No, there was a lot less of that. A lot less of that. So then there was an interview with, what was the guy's name from Respawn?
Vince Zampella.
Oh, Vince Zampella.
Who it was the most pointless and awkward interview. Well, it wasn't of all time, but it was pretty pointless and awkward. They sort of just sat down and said, "So you're going to tell us about Respawn's Star Wars game, right?" And he said, "Yep. The title is, what is it? Jedi's Fallen or something?
Star Wars Fallen Order."
Fallen Order, right? Okay, that's weird. I'm sure it had Jedi in it because he
just bang
made
on
a thing about
Jedi.
being a Jedi.
So it's set between episodes 3 and 4.
3 and 4.
To which Andrea said, "Oh, that's a nice time," and Vince was like, "No, it's the worst time in all of Star Wars."
And then he said, "Oh, have you got anything else to tell us about it?" And he was kind of like, "Nah."
It was so like it just reeked of like, look, we haven't got anything, but we need to say something. So, like, we can't get him out on stage because that's too much because we haven't actually got a trailer or even a logo by the looks of it. But if we just interview him, like, in the audience, that's kind of less weird. Sort of worked.
It was like, it was that kind of like, I'm working on a game, and this is what it's called, and that was it. It was...
Yeah. And it was pretty funny.
I mean, don't get me wrong,
there'd
right?
be lightsabers in it.
Like that studio working on a game about all the Jedi. Yeah, so you confirmed you play as a Jedi, and it's when all the Jedi are being murdered off. Yeah, like well up for that. But yeah, that was literally all they had to say about it.
Well, so no release date, no nothing.
No release date. No release date. We didn't even have a screenshot, Matt. We got no idea what this fucking game is. It was completely pointless, and it definitely also reeked of two people that said, we'll wing it on the night. Completely failing.
No, just when you think about like that studio, like obviously with the Titanfall games, like their sort of affinity for doing like a really interesting and fluid movement. That could be really interesting in a game where you play as a Jedi, because that's, doing all...
Could be, but we know fuck all.
But yeah,
so
I mean, that's total, making it up.
Still, Respawn Star Wars, that's, I'm looking forward to that.
Battlefront 2 now, and I've put full David... Battlefront 2, full David Turner acceptance of fucking it up, is what I've written down. They come out and just basically said, so, as you know, we launched Battlefront 2 last year, and... we got it very wrong. It was like proper. We totally fucked it.
It's so weird because when they do stuff like that, you're like, are they actually sorry that they got it wrong, or are they just sorry they didn't get away with it?
Yeah, I think. Like, well, there's always
like,
that,
we upset everyone, and we didn't even make much money. So
yeah, like there's an easy way of saying, well, at least they've accepted it, but then you could easily say, but how could they have not? I'm sorry, it was such a shitstorm last year. How could?
Yeah, I'm sure they're very happy to go along, even with like all the shit they had to do with. Until maybe I think the rumours that Disney stepped in, or someone stepped in and said, "Look, can you sort this shit out? This is embarrassing for the brand."
They mentioned that they're bringing a new sandbox style mode to it, which fuck knows what that is. And they're introducing. Yeah, I didn't really follow that. Introducing Clone Wars maps, which people seemed excited for. And then he said something about game modes in the game. And I listened to it back again today. And he says, Ewok Hunt. Which, saying that quite quickly on a stage, on a big mic, he just basically... And everyone enjoyed Ewok Cunt. I was like, right, okay, mate. Then they moved off, and something you would have missed is, well, you knew that Unravel 2 was coming, right, Matt?
I can't remember. I mean, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, Unravel 2 was heavily rumored beforehand. What you might not have picked up on is that a bunch of people from the press logged onto their Xbox or whatever during the day and just saw people playing it on their friends lists. So Unravel 2 was definitely... I think I watched the GameSpot stream and they were talking about what games could possibly be on EA, and then, was it Lucy James just turned around and went... Well, I just checked my friends list and my mate's playing Unravel 2, so I'm guessing that it's going to come out soon.
So did this actually happen before the EA conference then?
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Oh, God.
I put Unravel 2, this leaked before the conference with people playing it. I'm assuming it will be an out now. Can be played alone or with a friend, but always 2 characters regardless. Yeah. It's quite different from the first, apparently. Yeah. Unravel Dev says hello to everyone back home, then stops just before crying on stage, which I was glad, because if you remember last year we had 2 people crying on stage. Mm-hmm. This year, so far, 0 people crying on stage. I thought we would have been able to beat the record. And then they said it's out now, and it was like a bit of a muted response, but you heard someone genuinely, Matt, at the back of the theatre go, "Oh my God!" It was brilliant. If you're listening to this and you don't believe me, watch that again, because you do definitely hear someone scream that from the back. It's funny.
Isn't it also, it's got co-op, but it's like not online co-op. It's only...
is it couch only?
I think it's couch only, but I mean, who cares? It looked wonderful. The first one didn't grab my attention enough for me to complete it, so I wasn't really pumped for the second one, but the second one looked good, and maybe it's something that I'll get to. The one thing that I found weird is that I could have sworn that they announced that there's a trial for it if you've got EA Access, but I logged into EA Access after the conference and it wasn't there, so I'm a little bit confused
EA
by that.
Access Origin Premier.
Could be, God knows, the streaming service that's definitely going to be linked to Premiere.
Probably. It will be, you'll see. And then you're going to have to apologise.
Yeah, but that's not what you said. You said you researched it.
No, I said I looked up the story about it, and that's what it said. What is wrong with you? It's just like, you've got this like weird thing where everything has to be completely precise, even though we don't even know, because it's the future.
I'll tell you why, because you fronted up Sean like he was saying something wrong.
When?
And then corrected him with probably. Like, that's not how it works.
No, I didn't. I said, you just go on,
listen
back
to the podcast. Right, where are we? So that was Unravel 2. Oh yeah,
is anyone excited for that? I mean, Sean, did you play the first?
I never played the first one, even though everyone's like, "Oh, it's a Sean Bell game. He'll fucking love this." I've never played it.
It was all right.
Yeah, that was it. I think it came out and like no one was going wild over it. The first one, so I just thought it's probably not amazing. Then, shame.
So anyway, then they come back on stage and they were talking about A Way Out and how it was a new IP and that it downloaded really well. Apparently the game did really well.
And it downloaded really well. It was a really quick download.
They took the piss out of Joseph Fares a bit. Oh, yeah. And I was kind of like, fuck you guys.
I can't remember what they said, but it was a bit like, oh yeah, you probably remember Joseph.
You remember that guy last year.
But the guy that you put out on stage because you knew he was a good fucking laugh and he'd get you some attention. Don't fucking throw him to the wolves now. Like,
it was like proper. And you remember that guy? Do you remember him at the awards, guys? It was like, fuck you, mate. Joseph Fares is the best. Go fuck yourself. So that was a bit weird. And then
they just mentioned it. There's nothing else.
The reason they mentioned it is that they were announcing another new indie IP, and they bought. I didn't get her name, but this woman come on stage and she told us about Sea of Solitude, and we had a bit of a discussion about this while it was going on in our WhatsApp group, because initially I was cringing my fucking toes off, because she come out and she was basically the game's about loneliness and it's about coping with being alone and feeling alone, but the way she was talking, it sounded like an art teacher. Like it was very much like, this is how I have represented, like it was real sort of patronising. However,
she also sounded like she was going to break down in tears, like numerous times.
At the same time.
During it.
And at first, it was kind of like, this is a bit of a weird thing to be doing on stage at an EA event. You know what I mean? Like, it felt partly personal, partly preachy, partly art bollocks. But then I totally feel she saved it, like, because after that was like the initial bit, and then she really went into why this sort of game was important to her, and then I felt she saved it by the end of it. By the end of it, I was like, okay, the first bit was weird, then you settled down, and that was probably nerves, right?
Yeah.
You probably wanted to get a million things out at once. Then you settled down and really composed yourself, and I thought it was actually quite a good way of introducing the game. So what was it? Sea of Solitude.
Yeah.
It's a stylized 3D action game set on a boat, mainly on some water, I guess.
Well, it's like sailing around like a flooded town and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it looks fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
There's no, you can't rag on that. It looks really good. It looks, I mean, if anything, it reminded me of, what was that game you absolutely loved, Matt, last year?
Night in the Woods.
Yeah, no, not Night in the Woods. No, the oh god, the Ico style game.
Oh yeah, Rhyme.
Oh yeah,
Rhyme. Yeah. It had a lot of rhyme to it. Like not in terms of the themes that it was doing or whatever. It's just that similar feeling from the game, rather than the same style.
Is this from a totally unknown, studio person? I mean,
it's an indie developer. Yeah, I've forgotten the name, but yeah. So this was interesting because I saw it on this game. I saw it on Twitter about a month ago, and I started following the woman who's presenting it, whose name I have also forgotten. Helpfully, the day after, I had to fucking unfollow her. She was just retweeting people tweeting at her saying how great she was. Which I know, I don't think it was arrogance on her part. I think it was just relief that, like, oh look, all these people were like really happy with what I did, and like you say, she was probably really nervous about it and stuff. So she's probably just happy that it went so well. But it was like half my fucking Twitter feed I had to get rid.
You have to.
But no,
I mean, you can disable retweets. That's the way to go.
That's true. Let's do that for a lot of people, to be honest. But yeah, no,
especially during the World Cup.
The game looks wicked though. I mean, it's got the thing I hate in these sort of mostly peaceful wandering about games where it's like, oh no, there are actually scary bits with monsters in. I'm a bit like, no, just give me a nice game or don't. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess like bits with needless combat just because it's a game.
But I mean, no, definitely have a look at the trailer. Like, it does look really good.
Did you play The Vanishing of Ethan Carter?
I didn't,
There's a bit in that where it's just like, okay, we're a horror game now, like a horrific horror game for a little while. I mean, the themes throughout are horrific anyway, but like all of a sudden it just goes, right, horror. You're in a fucking mine like shaft with things chasing you and shit. And I'm like, I'm not ready for this. Thanks. Also the way she said balance, she said balance, but in her accent it sounded like she said balance, and that made me laugh. We're talking about the balance of the game, and it just properly sounded like balance, so I was laughing after Ewok Hunt and balance. I was having a whale of a time during this conference.
So at this point in the conference, because I remember when they showed A Way Out, and suddenly everyone's like, "Okay, this is great. This is this is going to win E3 so far." I mean, at this point in the EA conference, what's the general vibe? What's the general mood?
Well, there wasn't one. I mean, when it comes to general vibes, leave that to the end, because the problem is you don't know the. I guess what I'm saying is that you don't really know the timings of it, because some of this was quick and we're talking about it longer than it was actually shown, and some of it. But for the general vibe, we'll get to that at the end.
I think one thing sorry, go on, James.
That's what I felt was a bit strange about that whole Sea of Solitude thing, because the game did look really interesting, but her presentation stuff felt kind of out of place. Like, after all, like the really super corporate stuff that had come before, then you had this, and then it leapt back
and it went
to
straight
like
onto
super
NBA
corporate stuff. Yeah, and it was like a bit. The pacing was odd with that.
Yeah, but that's what EA always do. They always say, "Oh, I know we're talking about loot boxes and trying to get your money, but no, we care about indies, and here's the indie game we're going to show this year."
Yeah,
that's what they do.
I mean, in terms of the general vibe of this, the thing that, like, because right off the bat, the thing that sort of alerted me to, like, maybe this isn't going to be great was when they did Battlefield 5. They were like, so like Dave said, they started talking about the single player, and then they just went, "Oh, but if you really want to know about that, watch Microsoft tomorrow." And I was like, right. So if they just handed off the most interesting stuff to other presentations, which not quite, but yeah, but straight away I was like, okay, is this not going to be?
I mean,
brilliant.
By this point, we hadn't hit the bottom yet. Like, things hadn't got...
All right, come on, don't spoil it. Right, okay, so then they went on to NBA, and then they went on to NFL. The only noticeable thing about those two presentations was that an American footballer come on stage with the Madden champion. Like, so the guy that won the Madden championships last year come on stage with an actual American footballer. And they both said on stage, it wasn't in context, they obviously were ad-libbing or whatever, but they both said on stage, we out here chasing money. Don't do that on an EA stage. Don't do that on an EA stage, because that's going to be a meme
They showed
forever.
the guy, and I immediately sent Dave a message saying, this guy looks like a right prick. And then he came out and then said that. And it was like... Yeah.
We out here chasing money on the EA stage. I mean, perfect. I mean, if that's not a meme... I mean, if it's not overshadowed by Matt, this has got to be the meme of E3, I think.
I mean, if you're bothered... I mean, I quite like basketball, and I still can't be arsed with basketball games. But the main thing with NBA Live is that, like, they're introducing story mode, like they did with FIFA.
Because obviously it started with NBA 2K, and that's also the 2K series.
So they just nicked it from 2K.
And we should probably mention that Alex Hunter is going to be playing in the Champions League next season,
He
Matt.
is, yeah.
I thought you guys said you were playing the NBA.
that would be absolute class. I'd be all over that.
I was disappointed they didn't show more of that, actually, the Journey stuff. There was nothing at all. That's just me.
James, only because you want to hate on it.
No, I've played all of those, Matt. It's fine. I want to know where Alex Hunter's journey takes him next.
It takes us to the Champions League final, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously. But
or maybe the Europa League.
It, if they did that and they got knocked out of the group stages, and then it says game over. It's so good. If it was just like Alex Hunter going, hey Alex, how'd you get on in the Champions League final? Oh, we got knocked out of the group stages, mate. We didn't even get to
Europa League, isn't it? But
I was going to say, so if they get knocked out of the group stages at Europa League, so he's like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, it's Thursday night. Are you training now? I'm playing on, it's Channel 5, and I'm doing Europa League, so that's...
it says, I'm going to play a game of FIFA, and then the camera zooms in on the TV that he's playing on, and then you're just playing a game of FIFA. No, you're playing the Journey from FIFA 18 or whatever. It's just like last year's version. It's Alex Hunter playing Alex Hunter. Oh man, I'm up for that. Right, okay. So then things got mental, Matt.
Yes.
Then things got mental. Are you ready for this?
Not in a good way, but go on.
Command and Conquer. Command and Conquer is coming back.
It is.
Command and Conquer. Command and Conquer Rivals, a mobile strategy game.
Oh, hang on.
Stage. Let me finish this. Okay. Just let me finish this. Mobile strategy game, on stage demonstration, close to joining Matt for the rest of E3. God, they spent way too long on this. It seemed to go on for ages. Yeah,
that was the worst this was. And it was such a... What was really weird as well is they didn't actually announce it, like, properly until, like, after they'd finished playing it. And it's like... I saw, like, the GDI logo, and I was like, oh, it looks like Command and Conquer. And then they brought these two guys on, and they had, like, a shoutcaster, like, doing, like, like, these two guys playing a game against each other, which did seem to go on for about 20 minutes. It felt like it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like... It's like Clash Royale or whatever it is. I don't know.
I was going to ask, because obviously Command & Conquer games could last for ages. And so this isn't the Tencent. Didn't Tencent before E3 announce like a CNC something?
Don't think so.
Different game.
Because EA own the license to Command & Conquer, so that's it.
So it's Command & Conquer in a Clash Royale skin?
Yep. Mobile only.
Well, I don't know what Clash Royale is. It's just like a competitive mobile game. But like, they had an on-stage demonstration, say with the Shoutcaster. It wasn't a bit of a game. They played a full game, and I'm sitting there just going, "What are they doing? Like, what are they doing?" There's just two people on stage looking down at mobile phones, like they might as well be texting in a pub waiting for their mate. That's what it looked like. And this game going on a big screen, someone screaming over the top of it, and no one giving a shit. Nobody.
Yeah, what was everyone on Twitter saying at this point? Like,
what the fuck is going on?
FIFA
Why is
was
this
not
going
great.
on?
It's people were not happy.
I liked Command & Conquer back in the day. I had it for my Saturn and mobile consoles, but yeah, cool. They're bringing back an old IP, I guess.
No, not cool. It's terrible, Matt.
What pisses me off, right? What pisses me off is I already know what's going to happen, right? It's going to come out, and enough of us are just going to be like, it's free, I'll install it just to confirm it's shit and then get rid. Nope. And then next year, it'll be, we've had 20 fucking million players. It's like, no, you haven't. Don't lie.
And then they'll stand on stage and name them all. Right, okay.
So when's the game out?
I don't know. Okay. You can probably pre-register for it, but I mean,
Matt, I just stopped watching that. But I didn't stop watching the conference. But I was like, right, until something else happens, I'm going to watch something else.
It was so bad though. Like the shoutcasting thing was embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean,
what made me laugh as well, because there was a trailer at the end, wasn't there, where it was like, and it was shit. But it ended with Kane from
and
it was like, as if all the CNC fans were meant to be like, oh my fucking god, it's Kane. It's like, no, all the CNC fans had tuned out a long time ago, guys. This isn't.
And also, it wasn't Joe Kukin either. It was some. It's just a lookalike.
Was it a real? Really I can't remember if it was CG or if it was an actual person.
No, it was a real guy, but it was not the original.
But it was a ball guy you're talking about, lads, or whatever.
I don't know. Right, okay. Weird chat about EA trying to be better. There's some weird. Were they talking about charity and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, so they've been.
We're trying to be a better company and all this sort of shit.
Working with anti-bullying charities and a couple of other things.
Because they did obviously
serious subjects, but
then last year they announced an initiative whereby I'm sure it's like games downloaded or played, and I'm sure there's some sort of money-raising charity thing last year they announced.
Yeah. I mean, it's just. I mean, fine, what do you want? What do you want from us? Like, what do you want? A round of applause? And no, EA are great. It was just not the right time to do it. I mean, I'll spoil this for you, Matt. Microsoft didn't even mention their what is it?
Oh, the accessible controller thing. I forget what they've actually called it, but yeah.
It was at E3.
Yeah, there were some shots of it.
That were on the show floor that could use it, but they didn't mention it on the conference. And all right, they're all corporations trying to, this has definitely been through a PR sort of curtain for all of this stuff. But at least Microsoft had the decency to just do that. They announced it separately or whatever, and not sort of just go, so look at what we've done, guys. And that's what this felt like at EA. It's kind of like, look at what we're doing charity-wise. And we're like, okay, all right, but that's great. Don't get me wrong, that's great. You give in to charity, that's great. But this is
so you
what
fucking
do you want
should
from us
be.
from this? Exactly, right.
Yeah, we're launching a new thing called charity boxes. You will not believe what's inside them.
We were thinking about giving some of our insane amount of money to people less fortunate. Look at us, guys, like empty fucking theatre. Yeah. And then they close with Anthem. And I've put here, James is upset that there was a trailer.
Oh, this annoyed me as well. Like, it really annoyed me, this did with you. Like, I don't know what is... again, I don't know what's wrong with you. It's like... Go on. Well, because what they did, right, is they showed like an all-CG trailer, right?
Yeah.
And I thought that was they were just going to close the conference with that, because that's what it looked like they were going to do. So I just said, I wanted to see actually how the game worked and everything. And I don't see why that's such a ridiculous thing to want, seeing as we've already seen...
Do you think...
Just let me finish. So, okay. No, I want to finish, right? So
I said okay.
Like being on The fucking Apprentice. Go on.
No, because
I said okay, finish.
So anyway, as I was saying, I don't think it was unreasonable at that point to say I wanted to see some gameplay, from this, rather than just another CG trailer that we've already seen, many times in last year. And then David was like, "Oh, James is annoyed that he's seeing a trailer." It's because at that stage I didn't know they were going to show gameplay.
Matt, do you honestly think, knowing James for as long as you do you honestly think he said in the WhatsApp, I wanted to see some gameplay? Or do you think he said, "Oh, for fuck's sake, where's the gameplay? Oh, this is what was the point in this?"
To the second one.
Exactly. That's what he was doing. He was kicking off in the WhatsApp, and I was like, James, right, firstly, they didn't, he called it way too early. He got kicked off way too early. Secondly, even if they did, what is the problem? They're just showing a trailer. Fine.
I've got to side with James here. I guess you're implying that they actually show gameplay, so it's sort of a moot point. But the fact that this game is out in 8 months or whatever, I would expect gameplay, definitely. But
exactly.
But they did show some gameplay, right?
They did, yeah. I just jumped the gun.
So yeah, they showed gameplay last year, and last year it was like, you fly here, you fly here. Did this look more like real gameplay rather than last?
It looked like real gameplay, but I'll tell you something, Matt, and I don't know how the others feel. I think they're with me on this from after, we were chatting afterwards. If anything, it put me off.
Oh god!
I watched the gameplay and I was like, this feels like brute force. And I've played brute force from start to finish in one evening, right? It really felt like, look at the different classes. There's a sniper class. There's a magic class. There's a gun class. It was kind of like, oh my God, this is way average. And then Sean and I started talking about BioWare, and we were saying, look, we love BioWare games, but obviously their main focus is story.
Yep.
Now, when you're playing 4-player co-op stuff, no one gives a shit about story in those situations. No one sits and watches the cutscene because you're connected with your mates on the internet. And if anything, their weaker portion is combat. Now, I enjoyed the combat in Mass Effect 3, but I mean, you just got to look at Mass Effect 1, Mass Effect Andromeda. I didn't think the combat was that good. I know some people liked it. I certainly didn't. And then it makes you think, hold on, this is focusing on the weaker parts of what we've seen from them before. Who knows? Who knows what this game is going to be? You can't tell from just this one demo. But if anything, it made me less excited for it because it looked not generic, but just it didn't have that click. It didn't have that thing that says this is why this is so good. It looked like a action game that you play in co-op.
So basically, if you didn't know what the name of the game was and didn't know who it was by, you wouldn't say.
I wouldn't have necessarily said that this is a BioWare game. No, absolutely not.
It's graphically.
Oh, it looks amazing, visually.
Okay, and so it was a massive downgrade.
But it's weird. They because they keep showing footage of you and your mates all flying around, and you sort of look at that and it's that looks great in a trailer, but in terms as traversal mechanics go, it's fucking boring. Back in the day,
it was really slow, wasn't it?
It was really slow.
Even people walking, it was really sluggish.
And it's getting around. It's just I'll just point up at the sky, fly up, and then push forward for 10 minutes. Because I used to play City of Heroes, right? It was a MMO on PC ages ago, and you all played as superheroes, and you gave yourself superpowers and stuff. And over time, you could give yourself flight or super speed or various others. And people just stopped bothering with flight because it was shit. It was it was the most useful, but it was just boring. There's just no fun in getting around anywhere. So, and from what they're showing of Anthem, there seems to be no limit on your flight. It's just you can just do everything on foot or in the air. It doesn't really matter. It's just, I don't know. I found that odd.
I guess if you fly, you're missing out on the opportunity of getting loot on the ground.
Don't know.
Maybe
I guess. But then obviously, so you just, at the end of every fight, I suppose you just touch down and then have a run around. But, and the other weird thing is that, so they are very obviously, going for people who were a bit disappointed by Destiny 2 because they keep saying, this is a game you're going to be able to play it every day forever. But without really explaining why, or not really sort of explaining how that's going to work, or what how you're going to keep people coming back. There's no real
I'll tell you how, Sean. Daily challenges. Probably.
But, like, you know, they've shown, like, customization of your armor, but that's purely cosmetic. Now, to be fair, what they call javelins, the suits of armor you wear, they do look fucking wicked. They're, like, really nice designs, and you can customize the shit out of them. But, again, no mention of, like, how you customize, like, your actual, like, character build or whatever. And, yeah, so, like, so people like me, who, I mean, I really like Destiny 2, but I would be well up for something else similar to it. I'm still not convinced by what Anthem's going to offer. And also, like, actual BioWare fans are all just like, well, I can't shag anyone in it, so what's the point?
See, that was the other thing that came out of this, because this is what disappointed me, because I'm more interested in, like, in the BioWare side of things, where maybe there's, like, the story side.
And the shagging.
There's none. Like, there's no relationship elements in it at all. There
are no AI companions, it's just you and your mates, so we're just going to have to shag each other, lads, I'm afraid.
Is there a single-player component to this, or...?
They said basically it's all designed so that you can play any bit of it, single or multiplayer. So basically, the way they've described it is that it's like it's everyone's world, but it's your story. Is the phrase they kept using. God. So whenever you're in town, it's just you, like no other players, and then you go out with other people into the world, and then it's a multiplayer game. So the idea being,
also,
did they confirm there's no PvP?
Yeah, there's no PvP.
No PvP. Yeah, which I get. But again, a lot of people who play Destiny really like the PvP. That's quite a big thing.
Yeah.
So, don't know.
Yeah. It's coming February 22nd, 2019. Yep. So they dropped the release date, and that was that.
Interesting.
And I have to say, I must say, I was massively disappointed afterwards. It felt like there was no surprises, nothing interesting. It felt like a poor show from EA. But then recapping it now, maybe it's slightly better than I thought. I think maybe the buzz of EA starting, like E3 starting, was sort of building my expectations, and then at the end of it, I was kind of deflated. But I think maybe it wasn't so bad.
If you look back at EA conferences over the years, they've never been great. Like, they've never been...
No, exactly,
And they're not... This is the thing, like, you can't really expect that they're going to be like an amazing start to E3. But I don't know, I thought this was pretty disappointing, really, in terms of...
Well, it was mainly disappointing because we didn't have any major fuck-ups. Yeah. They were a lot more slick than they were last time.
There was no influencers, Matt. They had no YouTube influencers.
No celebrities either. Yeah. No celebs on stage other than the American football player. There was there was nothing for FIFA.
Obviously, I haven't seen it, but from what you've described, it feels pretty by numbers, like FIFA, NFL, NBA.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
What was the big? Obviously, in there, the big thing was, it's top and tailed with Anthem. But in my eyes, we just discussed, it feels like that Sea of Solace, whatever it's called, was like
that was easily the best thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Sea of Solitude was easily the best thing they showed.
And back onto Anthem, so last year it felt like a sort of a 4-player Destiny style romp, but if I don't know, I'd hoped it would be absolutely mind blowing, because Destiny 2, I love the single player, but obviously fell off it quite hard along with a lot of people. But I would also, just like you, Sean, be well up for another game that consumes my life. But so graphically, it doesn't look like it's been a massive downgrade. That it still looks really strong in that regard.
Yeah, I thought so.
I mean, it looked alright. I don't think it looked as good as it did last year.
The general feedback to the show wasn't great, because, like, quite shortly afterwards, like, Andrea Renee did one of those things where she was saying, if you don't like what you've seen, please remember that people are making these games, and, there was all that stuff, because people were getting a bit annoyed.
Well, I thought the general feeling afterwards, to me, just seemed to be like, well, it's only EA, innit? Like, they'll...
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, so no major announcements. That's a shame.
No major announcements.
Sorry, Command & Conquer Rivals, did you forget about that?
Sorry. Where my memory's going.
The streaming thing was probably the most interesting thing in terms of the industry, because that's not the last we'll be talking about streaming either. It seems like it's coming back in a big way. So was Microsoft next?
I think or was there something in between? Devolver Digital were next. I mean, because I missed this when it was actually on.
Would you want to talk about it briefly?
Yeah, no, I won't take long. Basically, so last year's, I know you really enjoyed it, Matt, and a lot of people did. Yeah. I appreciated it, but I didn't actually find it that funny.
Yeah, I thought it was a 5-minute joke dragged out to 15 minutes. It felt the same this time.
Oh, do you think? I thought this one was a lot funnier.
To me, yeah.
I enjoyed this one more.
Fair enough.
Basically, there was only 3 games in it. It was mostly just so the woman who hosted it last year, basically just her just screaming at the audience for being fucking idiots for 15 minutes.
Okay, I'll be up for that.
And then they showed 3 games. They showed a game called Scum, which from the footage I thought was like a joke, but no, apparently it's a real game. It looks like, I'm not even sure what it is. Just an online, everyone running around killing each other in an open world thing, bit like Rust or one of those. Which again, because it was called Scum, I thought, oh right, yeah, so she's making fun of it's a 4-letter acronym like Rust, and it's making fun of people who play games. But no, apparently it's a real game. So they showed My Friend Pedro, which you may have seen footage of.
Oh yeah, that went down very well.
Yeah, so this is like you might have seen like GIFs of it, Matt. It's a very GIFable game. It's the one with basically a guy with like 2 Uzis going around on a skateboard, like doing flips and shooting people.
I haven't seen that, but that does sound good.
Sean, do you know why it's a very GIFable game? There's literally an option in it to convert gameplay footage to GIFs that you can share on Twitter.
That makes sense.
No, it's a smart move.
But and they've confirmed it's coming to Switch as well, which is nice.
Excellent. Okay, good.
And and then the other one was for whatever reason, Devolver Digital are publishing a remaster of From Software's classic Metal Wolf Chaos, which is a game that hardly anyone played. So I think it was an Xbox exclusive, original Xbox, and basically, so it's a mech combat game where you play as the President of the United States of America. So they've made a website which is Mech America Great Again. Ha ha ha.
Brilliant.
Sort of a bit weirded out by that, but glad it exists, I guess, because I never got a chance to play it back in the day. So
they revealed a Devolver Digital Mini system.
Oh yeah,
where the guy on stage kept going, "It's just a painted Dreamcast." I don't know, man. Like I hate people that get the snobby about wacky humor, but if it was a tight like 5 to 10 minutes, it would be all right. But these are 15 minutes, and it does feel like it drags out like a joke way too far.
Yeah, last year,
whatever. That's
I can see last year, was clearly divisive, but I liked it. It was stupid. And
if you liked it, you'd like this one, I think.
So I'm glad they stuck to their guns, as it were.
Yeah, definitely.
Microsoft.
I know it's Bethesda next, wasn't it?
What about Ubisoft?
Oh, for fuck. Well, no, Ubisoft was after.
Yeah, it was the day after. There was Square Enix, then there was Ubisoft.
Right, okay, so Bethesda was first?
No, it's Microsoft next.
No, it's Bethesda next.
No, it was Microsoft, and then it was Bethesda at like 2 a.m.
Oh, shit, sorry. Yeah, no, you're quite right.
Right, okay, fine. Jesus.
Right, let's go. Big one.
Microsoft, big guns, right. Opens with a trailer.
Come on.
Sort of ancient shit.
Sort of ancient shit.
This is just what I've written down, okay? I've not even reread this since
before we start,
them, so
Microsoft was easily my most anticipated because they had the most to prove, and arguably, if it fucks up, they're going to fall the hardest. Like I think Spencer's been there for like 3 years. This is the year we're going to hopefully see the results of the studios they've been working with, developing games, and so this is massive.
Well,
go on,
settle down. Sort of ancient shit, and then I've just put woods. So I'm assuming that the trailer that suddenly changed to a woods setting.
Yeah. Not in the woods too.
Halo has to be. Yep. The title is Halo Infinite. And then it made a big deal of the Slip Space engine, which
so that was leaked, wasn't it? Halo Infinite.
Is that a known engine?
Halo Infinite, the name was leaked like basically like 2 or 3 days before I left.
Okay. Well, that was it. That they didn't talk about the game. They didn't show anything of the game. They showed this short trailer, which barely showed anything.
But did it have the music or like the Master Chief helmet or what?
Yeah,
the helmet.
The Master Chief helmet. Yeah.
Oh god, amazing!
But basically, a few things have leaked since. It's not a mainline Halo game. It's not.
It's like an ODST type affair, is it?
Well, by the sounds of it, it's something completely different. The rumours that I've heard that it's going to be set during the original Halo, and it's going to be far more open world than any of the Halo games. A bit like it's going to be an open world game by the looks of it, set on one of the Halos. And like Master Chief has gone back to his original suit.
Yes,
and this is all none of this is confirmed, but this is what the podcasts have been talking about, and they all seem pretty consistent. So you know what that's like. They've probably heard a few things, but apparently it's going to be a big departure from a normal Halo game, and there's going to be a lot of sandbox open world style stuff in it. So interested, but we literally know nothing.
I mean, ODST, I loved that until basically my save file corrupted and I didn't finish it and fucked off. But that was quite different because that was like a hub world and you went to different areas. So
it was alright.
Yeah,
it was
awesome. Okay, starting with Halo, strong. Yeah,
overrated. Right. Everyone slags it off.
Really?
Yeah, ODST. Yeah, I'm usually the one defending it.
Yeah, all I hear is people defending it. I thought Reach was much better. Reach was my one.
I love Reach.
Yeah.
Right, Phil Spencer on stage. Crowd are going wild already, and I will say this about Microsoft. Their crowd was a billion times better than EA's. Like, it was polar opposites. The Microsoft crowd were going nuts throughout the whole thing.
It was a bit annoying.
But how much of it was staff
I was
going
to say, I was wondering if they'd been paid
I so
to do
prefer that, though. I so prefer hearing the crowd go nuts.
I don't mind that. It's just the woos and all that.
It's when they're just whooping over, like, nothing.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Me a bit.
I like that shit.
Okay.
Crowd going wild already. Stage is filled with Xboxes and TVs. Phil's opening speech is talking about equality and how gaming brings everyone together. Bit weird, but it was well meant, and it did come across quite well in the end. Like, he was, you know what Phil Spencer's like. He's quite passionate about games, and he tries to express that as much as he can. Yeah, I think he is. I think he pulls it off. Like, there's not many people that can, but I think he does pull it off. He then announces that we will see 50 games during the presentation, 18 of which are exclusives, and 15 of which... All right, James. 15 of which are world premieres.
Right, okay.
So that was there were the figures that you laid out.
Because they'd already confirmed a couple of days before I left it was going to be a 100-minute show.
Yeah.
So, it was longer than that. It was 2 hours, right?
No, it wasn't that long. It was about an hour and 40 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, right, okay, fine. So 100-minute show then. It felt longer to me, not because of anything that was going on in the show, but I'm sure it was too... okay, whatever.
Okay.
Right, so it says first game...
It felt longer just because there was shitloads in it, but... Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. First game looks like an Ori game. Bird learning to fly, creatures helping it. It looks really nice. Side-scrolling platformer, yes. It's the Ori and Will of the Wisps.
Yeah.
Wisps.
That was announced last year, wasn't it?
I thought it was out. I genuinely thought it was out. Like, I thought, oh my god, someone's like proper ripping off Ori here. No, it's not out. So they showed a trailer. It looks stunning, to be quite honest. It looks absolutely stunning, but it's not a game that I'll ever actually pick up. World premiere, or whatever it was. Ancient Japan style stuff from Software and Activision. Yeah. Very Dark Souls, but very different too. Lots of sword fighting. What's it called? Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
Yeah, Sekiro.
Sekiro.
Yeah, okay, yeah, so we knew about that, didn't we?
Did we?
We knew Shadows Die Twice. That was the teaser they gave out a while ago. And yeah, basically, so you remember, Matt, there was that teaser, there was like a close-up of looked like a limb with all fucking mechanical shit in it. So that's the hook, is that you play as this samurai I think he's been killed and he's lost his arm and he's had this mechanical one bolted onto him. Which gives him all weird abilities, which I think you can customize. Yeah, it looks fucking wicked, obviously.
And it's a From Software game debuting at the Microsoft one.
Yeah, and it's published by Activision, which is weird.
It seems kind of like...
Sorry, go on.
I thought it looked kind of like sort of Bloodborne or sort of Tenchu. Like, there's bits that looked a bit like Tenchu, like with the grappling hook and that kind of stuff. Which I thought was pretty good.
No stealth.
Yeah, it looked way more Bloodborne than it did Dark Souls, didn't it?
Yeah. A lot of verticality there, like James said, because it had this grappling hook. There was a lot of bits of just flying up to the top of a building or on top of a wall or trees or whatever.
Awesome.
Which is something we've not seen much of in Dark Souls. It's like, oh, there's a ladder, see you in 10 minutes. So that was cool. I think there's been more detail since. I'm sure I've been reading that there's not much like RPG stuff in it. Like, it is more of a straight action game. But yeah, it looks ace.
Yeah,
really
so also I don't want to spoil things that go on happen later in this podcast, but I'm sure that was what Sony said was one of their big 4 titles that they were going to focus on. But obviously, Microsoft
I certainly thought Shadows Die Twice was meant it was going to be Bloodborne 2, but no, it's Sekiro apparently.
Amazing, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Bethesda on stage. Fallout 4 coming to Xbox Game Pass today.
Okay.
So they launched Fallout 4. I mean, don't play it. It's not very good. Fallout 3 was much better. You'd agree with that, right, James?
I would, yeah. There was still a lot of whoops, though, from the audience.
So Bethesda came on stage to say that?
Not just that. They then showed the world premiere trailer of Fallout 76.
Mm-hmm.
It looks brilliant. It looks way more like a Fallout game than I thought it would. I thought it was going to be something completely different, but it looks like a Fallout
vibe.
game.
So is it? Obviously, the rumors were like online base building.
We'll get to that because that was not explained during the Microsoft conference. They simply showed a trailer.
Okay.
And then moved on.
Yeah.
But they spoke about it more at the Bethesda one, so we'll talk about it then.
Awesome.
They moved straight onto another trailer. Square Enix. This is one of my most... It's funny because I said to... John Denton texted me and said, so what is the game you're most looking forward to from the E3 this year? And I said, this is probably it. And it's a bit... And he went, oh, fuck off. So, it's a Square Enix game... The Awesome Adventure of Captain Spirit. Basically, it's the prequel to Life is Strange Season 2.
Oh.
And it's
a prequel to Season 2. Okay, so it's in between 1 and 2, is that?
Hang on.
Well, no, there's no timeline.
Wait a minute.
They've not been clear, have they? They've said that this is an introduction to the world of Life is Strange 2.
No,
it's set in the Life is Strange universe.
No.
I didn't know it was connected.
Listen. There's so basically Square Enix put 2 videos out after this conference, one with the trailer and one with the developers talking about the game that explained it a lot better than the trailer did.
Mm-hmm.
And what they've said is that Season 2 is a completely different story.
Yeah.
A completely different story. This is the prequel to it. It's free. It's completely self-contained. So this story, it will have a beginning and an end. There's no like cliffhanger. Decisions you make in this prequel will affect what happens in Season 2. But let me tell you the themes. So it would appear that you play as a little boy who has a bit of a rough upbringing. His dad, it was implied he's an alcoholic, but he's a single parent. And he clearly hasn't got friends. He clearly hasn't got a normal life. And he's clearly very bored. And he spends his whole time pretending to be this superhero that he's made up. What was his name again? It's
Captain
in the
Spirit.
title. Captain Spirit. And it's about his imagination running wild. It felt very Life is Strange Farewell. And that's what got me excited. The music was there visually. I mean, it looks pretty similar. And they said it's set in the Life is Strange universe, but, you know, it's so loose that could mean anything. But honestly, I watched that trailer and I just thought, oh my God, this is already grabbing my heart. You know what I mean? Like, and I said to John, like, when John was laughing at me for getting excited about a kid, like a game about a kid pretending to be a superhero, I know it's always the same theme with Life is Strange games. You can laugh at it. You can, poke fun at anyone that plays. It's so easy to pull apart, but I can't help the way I feel when I hear that style of music and those visuals and everything, and the way the characters are talking to each other. It instantly gets me like semi-emotional, properly excited.
Amazing.
And it's coming out for free in August.
Okay, so they haven't announced Season 2. They just announced
July?
This thing.
July, right? No, they haven't announced Season 2 yet.
It's June.
They've announced this.
This is June. This is coming. Yeah.
June what? I've already got
the date here. It's June 26th.
Yeah, I've already got it preloaded on my Xbox. Like, well, not preloaded, but I've already sort of. It's not pre-ordering because it's free, but like I've already sort of put the thing to automatically download to my Xbox when it's available.
Is this Don't Nod or another studio?
It's Don't Nod, yeah.
Don't Nod, yeah.
Okay, interesting. Because even the one Before the Storm was amazing, and that was a different studio entirely. So
yeah, okay. I mean, it looks wonderful. I'm so excited for it.
Oh, fantastic!
I can't wait to see it. I mean, it's not what I expected either. Like it, I don't know what season 2 is, but this would imply that it's nothing to do with season 1, and I think that's the direction they should have taken.
So same graphical style, same music cues, etc., etc. It's just totally new characters.
I mean, it looks a bit better because Life is Strange first season was last and current gen, wasn't it?
Yeah, so, I mean, it was ropey.
Yeah, there's a bit of extra polish going on, but really excited about it.
Yeah, I absolutely love Life is Strange. So, yeah.
And the fact that they said that choices you make in this game will affect the main game as well.
It's interesting. Did they announce how many episodes this is, or is it like a one?
No, it's a one-off. Yeah. It's just a one-off.
So one episode for free. Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would have paid money for that, but okay.
Yeah,
cool. But I guess like there was a bit of talk about that on Twitter, and I guess that this is the right way of doing it. It's like it's a prequel. It's to get you interested in the characters. It's essentially a demo. I think it's the right way of doing it because
it's a demo with meaning, I guess, isn't it?
Only the people that are interested in Life is Strange are going to pay for this single episode about this one character. Whereas if you make it free, a lot more people will try it, and I think a lot more people will get into it. And you've got to remember what happened with Telltale with Season 2 of The Walking Dead. Like, The Walking Dead 1 was, like, highly praised. The Walking Dead Season 2 come out, and no one was interested because they were worried that it was more of the same. To give the opportunity of playing this sort of prequel early and realising, like, that actually this is a completely separate story, new characters... I think it's the right way to go about it, and I'm very excited.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah,
looks very good. Then they went on to Crackdown 3.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, still coming out.
Here we go.
It's still coming out.
It's still alive. Okay.
This probably is one of the most disappointing things of this show. They showed a trailer that showed nothing. It showed nothing.
It was just Terry Crews shouting. I like Terry Crews, but fucking hell.
Well, they did that last year, didn't they?
Yeah.
They were just talking about guns. Yeah. I like this gun, and I like that gun, and I like that gun, and that was it. And then it come up at the end that it's coming out in February 2019, and it was kind of like, I mean, oh my god! Right. They didn't reference it. They didn't talk about it. They did nothing.
Was it any gameplay, or was it just Terry Crews?
They showed like gameplay stuff, but it looked really sort of bare bones, and there wasn't there wasn't a lot of sort of destruction on offer either. Like, which was one of the major sort of selling points of this, was it was going to be all like that. It was a bit.
I mean, the destruction thing is weird anyway, because last year, I imagine it's probably changed, but who knows? But last year they said destruction was only in multiplayer and not in single player.
Yeah, because it relies on the cloud shit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, does it? I don't know.
I mean,
I wonder if that's why they've had such issues with it. Because what else has come out that use it? Yeah, what else has come out that uses cloud computing? I can't even think of anything.
So, with having a bare bones trailer, do you think that they just probably scrap the game and start it again, or what? I mean, does it feel like
they might have at some point? Yeah.
No, there's no way they've scrapped it and started it again. Well, I mean, they have done at some point, but like not like recently.
Not this year.
Because this is coming out in February. You know what I mean? There's no way they've scrapped it and started again.
Right. So okay.
Straight on now to Nier Automata Game of the Year edition. And then I just put that was weird. You know what I mean? I hope that's not one of the 50 games.
So this leaked early anyway, didn't it?
Did it?
Yeah, it's getting an Xbox release. Good, I guess.
So the first Nier Automata didn't come out on Xbox, I guess, right?
It was the PlayStation exclusive.
Okay.
Oh, right. Oh, that's why it was important. I get you. Right, okay, so that's why. Right, fair enough then, fine. Okay, show that game off. Okay, I thought it was totally weird that it was shown on the Microsoft page, but that makes total sense now.
Doing a Game of the Year edition, doing the game and that one bit of DLC that came out and no one was really that fussed about.
Right, I get it. Fine. Okay, then they moved on to Metro Exodus. Wow, they're really burning through games quickly is what I've written. It's hard to keep up. Not really interested in this. Looks nice, though. The problem is that ever since E3 happened, I've been listening to podcasts and everyone's saying that the demo that they showed at E3, behind closed doors, to be fair, was really poor and needs a lot of work, and it has been delayed to next year now. So, I mean, it looks alright. I've never been a fan of Metro games, so I know you were interested in it, Matt. But
yeah, I mean,
it seems a long way off.
Last year's trailer looked amazing, or the gameplay, and I'm interested in the premise. So did the trailer look amazing, but just the demo seems to have been poorly received?
Not for me. It did nothing for me. What about you two?
I mean, I've also not been a fan, but purely because they're sort of horror games, aren't they? In a sense, and I don't do horror really.
And they're not really horror games. Like, I mean, I played them, and it didn't feel like horror to me. It felt like the equivalent of Fallout horror. You know what I mean? Where there are moments where you're in scary bits and things jump out at you, but it's not. They don't feel like genuine horror games, like where you're sitting on the edge of your seat all the time.
But no, I thought what they showed was really impressive. But yeah, I'm probably not going to bother.
Okay, Phil back on stage now. No, wait, he's in the audience. I missed what he said, to be honest. Soccer Aid is on. So basically, Matt, at the same time as the Microsoft conference, Soccer Aid was on.
Yeah, I didn't watch that this year.
Friend of the show and my friend Blake was playing in it, right? So for those of you that don't know what Soccer Aid is, it's a England versus rest of the world thing for UNICEF that they do once a year, and it's grown every year, and it was being played at Old Trafford in front of 70,000 people, and my mate was playing, right? And England were 3-2 down. Blake, come on, right? He'd been texting me all week saying, this is embarrassing. During training, I've been the worst at everything. I don't even know if they're going to let me go on the pitch. You know, he was like, this is awful. He come on with 20 minutes to go, set up the equaliser, then scored the winning penalty.
Oh my God.
It was unbelievable. While the Microsoft game was going on, the conference was going on. So there are large chunks of this that I was kind of like missing what was being said, so I apologise. But that is extreme.
So did that game go to penalties, or there was just a penalty?
So he picked up the ball. He nearly lost it, but he managed to retain it. Gave it to Redknapp. Redknapp hit the post, and Michael Owen put it in the back of the net. And I just thought, Blake has essentially got an assist for a Michael Owen goal. What the fuck is going on? And then the penalties happened, and he wasn't in the top 5 because, you know, a self-proclaimed shit footballer, Blake, was not being put in the top 5. And then it went to sudden death. Paddy McGuinness, I think. No, it was Lee Mack missed a penalty. So it went to the second round of sudden death. The rest of the world missed one, and then Blake come and banged it in beautifully, then stood on the penalty spot and just raised his hands like it was nothing.
Amazing.
While the England fans were going crazy behind him. And I was like, the best thing though, Matt, is that during the lineup, you know, the lineup where they sing a song and the camera pans over everyone's faces, everyone was looking serious, and then Matt, it got to Blake and he was just pulling a funny face. As he went across the screen, it was fucking hilarious. You've got to see it.
I'm gonna have to,
it's class.
I love watching it every year. It's always, you know, great to see celebrities try and do stuff, and if they do a great pass, it's amazing.
I've always watched it, and this year, I was excited to see it, and Blake just stole the show. He was fantastic.
I'm definitely catch highlights of that.
But
anyway,
James, do you remember what Phil Spencer said when he was in the crowd?
No, I've completely
Blake
forgotten.
just scored.
Good. Right, okay, and then I've put Kingdom Hearts, I think. Totally tuned out here.
Yeah. Do you know, this is a game I got absolutely sick of seeing this game.
Oh god, it was all over the place, wasn't it?
It was at every single conference, it felt like, and in every single one, I just didn't care. It was just...
So I've played Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 and fucking enjoyed them for what they are. The whole, do you guys find this as you get older? You're just constantly going fucking hell, people really like Disney.
People are obsessed.
What do you mean?
It's just I think when you're a kid, you just say, it's just Disney films and we're kids and kids watch Disney films, whatever. But then as you become an adult, you're like, no, fucking grown adults fucking love Disney.
Gotcha.
To the point
they love it. It's a huge part of their youth.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess I'm like that with Pixar. Everything Pixar comes out with, I'll go and see, you know, and they've had their bad films, but for the majority of it, I was saying to Jo the other day, she said, oh, should we bring up pick up Coco on DVD? And I said, no, we're getting on Blu-ray. And I said, that's very rare. There are two types of films that I get on Blu-ray. It's Tarantino films and Pixar films, like polar opposites.
I love that. It's like the two halves of David Turner's.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we do. Yeah, I mean, we've got Coco. I've already watched it 3 times on Blu-ray. Like, it's just okay.
But yeah, so basically, and like obviously people love Disney and people fucking love Final Fantasy and Square Enix shit. So yeah, like Kingdom Hearts 3, like a lot of people make fun of it, but it fucking shifts. Like it sells a lot.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
I'm not surprised that it appeared 3 times, but it was literally again, we'll get onto it, but like we saw the same trailer twice. So this one
is a bit funny.
This
like,
one
focused
one focused on the fact that Frozen is in it.
Okay.
So they had, fucking Elsa or whatever.
Also, there was this weird bit in all of them for some reason where the sound effects cut out, and
I think this was on purpose. I think I think it was supposed to be like because it's when the theme came in. Because every game they get this woman Utada Hikaru, who I think is like a famous either composer or pop star in Japan. I don't know. She always does the themes for the games, and they're always fucking massive. So I think this was supposed to be like, everything goes quiet now because the theme's kicking in. But they left the dialogue in. But it was all just people going like, ugh, or whatever. And it's like, it reminded me of...
And they really sounded like they were in a recording studio as well.
Yeah.
Like, for the whole thing.
Have you ever seen, there's a trailer for The Mummy, with the Tom Cruise
Yes, I have seen this.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like...
And you just hear the scream, didn't you, with nothing else?
Yeah. It's like they just, when they mastered it, they forgot to, unmute half the audio channels or something. So, but I think it was done on purpose. It just sounds awful. So yeah, that's fucking.
So I've never played a Kingdom Hearts game, but I think I saw previews of this, and it was all about Toy Story. So is the idea that they go through different Disney games?
Yeah, so basically, so there's a load of like Square Enix characters, but then there's a set of like original Kingdom Hearts characters, and you play as one of them, this guy Sora, and then it's all, so the idea is, there's all these interconnected worlds, so you visit all these different Disney places, but then sometimes like Cloud from Final Fantasy VII will fucking show up or whatever. And they're like really good fun like action RPGs.
We're spending too much time talking about this.
Well, it's all right because it's going to come up again. Then we can just it's ticked off. We can just
you can finish that thought later, Sean.
I hated this by the end, but go on.
Next game, Sea of Thieves, lol.
Okay.
think
it was DLC or something.
It was. There's going to be. It's new AI ships apparently with skeleton crews.
Well, the thing is, they were like, because they were banging on about adding a new area, and it's like, you're not going to finish the ones you've got, then no.
There's also, didn't they say that they've played there's 96 million hours of play or something?
That's just Darren Gargett.
That's exactly what I tweeted. Exactly what I tweeted.
That's Darren Gargett, and it's people like me being like, there must be something else that I've missed. I've got
come on. What's the joke here? Okay, so obviously I think they just had like a DLC recently, so this is like the second big DLC drop. And
well, didn't they? I think technically they announced 2 big DLC packs, didn't they? I think.
Yeah.
But I didn't. In terms of details, I had no idea.
Good pun.
Soccer Aid was on. Dice game, Battlefield 5 trailer. So a little bit underwhelming because we'd already seen it.
But it wasn't exactly the same trailer, surely.
No, I mean there was bits of it that was in the other trailer. I don't think they showed anything new, did they, Sean?
No. It's just more story stuff, wasn't it?
So it was all single player though.
Yeah. This was single player focused.
Yeah. Battlefield 5 looks fucking incredible. It'll be a Battlefield game. It looks like a very good Battlefield game. That's it. That's all you can really say about it. So,
I mean, single player wise, is there anything to show that this might be worth looking at?
Nope.
No. Okay. Okay, cool.
Car game looks like Forza Horizon 4.
Okay.
They're driving on the left. Looks like it's set in England. Right, that was the first thing I noticed, the driving on the left, because I've played countless hours of Forza Horizon 4.
I love that you said England when it clearly fucking showed Edinburgh in the opening.
Listen, they're driving on the left, it's England, son. All right. This looks incredible. Very good trailer. Horizon 4 is all about changing seasons. I'll talk about that more in a minute. On-stage demo with lots of players. Ralph Fulton, I've written here. Fulton. Yep, it's set in Britain. It's out October 2nd, and it will be free on Game Pass.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so what was I saying? They focused on the seasons. Yeah. The idea of Forza Horizon 4 is that they want you to play it online at all times. They want to create this shared world thing. I think they said, if I remember correctly from the Giant Bomb podcast they were on, there will be 64 players on one server at any one time. They want the majority of the cars that you come across to be player-controlled cars. They also clearly stated that you can play this any way you want. So if you don't want any of that stuff, you can still play the game. It's not always online. But yeah, the idea is that they want a shared experience and they want people to be within this game space together. When it comes to the seasons will change weekly. So it's you're going to be in winter for a week, you're going to be in autumn for a week, and everyone's going to be seeing the same shit. They were even saying, like, in autumn when it's like the sun shining and it's raining, you will see rainbows, and the rainbows you will see will be the exact same rainbows as everyone sees that's playing at that time. They're really focused on making this a shared experience, and that allows them to then focus on new challenges that are specific to time periods rather than just, they've touched on it before. Forza Horizon 3 had this stuff where it was like, hey, it's Forza season, this is Forza weekend, or whatever they call festival weekend. You can earn this, but if you do these challenges, I think there's going to be a lot more of that, and it's going to be a lot more focused on everyone aiming towards a similar goal. Basically, I mean, we knew Forza Horizon 4 was coming, and I don't think anyone was expecting to be anything other than, hey, that looks good. This came across very, very good. I mean, It looks brilliant. Yeah. And I'm very, very excited for Forza Horizon 4. And when it comes to an Xbox One X, I've sort of been, should I, shouldn't I? I'm not really that bothered. I'm not totally pumped for it, but I can get by on my launch day Xbox, or, my launch period Xbox. This is kind of convincing me to get an X, because it looks stunning and it's a game that I love, and to play that in 4K would be the way to go. I'm really pumped for Forza Horizon 4, and everyone that I've spoken to since has said that they're excited for this game as well. So it had a very good showing this year. That's great.
I mean, I loved Forza Horizon 3, and obviously this is heavily rumoured, but and I'll play another Horizon game because they're great and they're really fun to play. They look gorgeous. I mean, I've got an X, and there's a 4K patch for Forza Horizon 3, and it looks mind-blowingly good. But the fact this is now set in Britain is that's definitely like and exciting. So is it all around Britain, or what's the deal? Like, is it?
Well, they just said Britain, so it can't just be Scotland. And then people are saying, yeah, it's weird. We don't know. We don't know the size of the map. We don't know what areas are covered.
Yeah, because it's one open world, right? So I think it must just be like a weird.
Well, that's what the Forza Horizon games have always been.
Yeah. So it must just be like a strange sort of truncated version of the UK, I think. But
amazing.
But it makes DLC interesting because, I mean, it was suggested that London wouldn't be in this.
Oh, come on.
However, as a DLC pack, London's going to get people buying it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But how would London... It's like a game race around Britain, and how could London not be in it? That's ridiculous.
Because we saw Edinburgh. So that unless they're willing to map every road from Edinburgh to London, what's the point?
But it could be truncated, as Sean said. But to have this is a game about racing around Britain. There's no London, but there is.
I mean, because what are they called? The Euro Truck Simulator games. They technically have the whole UK in them. But again, like say, it's sort of you do Manchester to Sheffield, and it's like a 10-minute drive up a motorway. But it's sort of convincing enough.
That always made me laugh. It'd be like, have you ever seen that romantic comedy called Wimbledon that's based around the tennis tournament?
No. I'm aware of it.
And they leave Wimbledon to head for Brighton, and it's not that far, but Wimbledon to Brighton, the sun's setting, and then they arrive in Brighton, and the sun's still setting. And you're like, no, but it would be pretty fucking dark. Shit film.
Yeah, sounds great.
Noted.
This is exciting. Brilliant. I can't wait to see what it looks like.
And it's free on Game Pass, which is a big deal, because there was a question over that, and no, I mean it looks fantastic. I'm bang up for that. Right, Phil back on stage now, talking about new Microsoft Studio, the initiative. And then, right, so this is a mess because it was all kicking off. Microsoft bought Undead Labs, Ninja Theory, Hellblade. They're the Hellblade developers. Microsoft are buying everyone. Compulsion Games. Was it five studios or 4?
It was 4. No, it was 4, wasn't it?
No, it's 4 they bought and 1 they've created.
Sorry, yeah. So Undead Labs are the State of Decay guys.
Yeah, we knew it anyway. That was
curious
last year,
purchase, given that State of Decay 2 is apparently dog shit.
No, but they bought them ages ago, didn't they?
Oh, did they?
This isn't a new purchase.
They can't. They were announcing it like they were.
Yeah,
no, I think they're a first-party developer now.
But they were anyway. They bought them ages ago.
There's no way, Matt, because they were making a big song and dance about announcing it.
Google it now because I can't. They bought Undead Labs ages ago.
Okay.
Fine.
Well, so it's them, Playground, obviously, Forza developers, Ninja Theory, and Compulsion Games, who the team are doing We Happy Few, which again, thought everyone was pretty much done with that, but whatever. I mean, it's obviously this is the way to go because they didn't. Everyone's been saying, well, Microsoft have got no fucking teams left. My concern is, they've got no teams left because they fucking shut them all down. So the fact they're just buying more, it's like, well, hang on, does this mean Ninja Theory are going to be down the toilet within 3 years?
To cut through Sean's cynicism here, it was a very exciting portion of the show. They were saying, Phil was basically saying, we're rebuilding, we've got these devs in place, they're us now, it's, we are going to be making new IP. And all right, some of they're not, the credibility of some of these studios have not been made yet. They've not had the chance to really prove themselves. But with Microsoft money behind them and support behind them, then maybe the future looks a lot brighter for Xbox. I thought it was a really rousing speech, and the way they presented it was it was exciting. I mean, it's a shame that this is not the rewards from this are not going to be seen for a long time.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. I would have hoped this would have happened 2 years ago, because now, we bought them now.
Yeah, but it didn't, and it's happened now.
They made a point. Labs thing, because I swear to God they did that last year.
They didn't. I just had a look. They partnered with Microsoft Game Studios, but they weren't bought by them.
Oh, okay. Maybe I got confused.
They did. They made a point as well of saying that apparently the studios are going to have complete creative autonomy as well, which is nice.
They can make what they want, but they'll be supporting them and ploughing them with money.
So they bought 4, but there's a one they've created. What's the name of that one? Sorry,
The Initiative.
Okay, and any indication of what they could be doing?
No,
nope,
nothing.
No indication.
So that's the thing. I mean, there was nothing that. I mean, this is all really good. It's good that this is happening, and they made a really big push during the whole of this conference to say we're here, we're not going anywhere. We're really going to be pushing more stuff in the future. But then also it kind of highlighted the fact that still now they still haven't got anything. Really.
That's a worry.
And it's
okay, so they did that. Everyone was hyped. Then a new game trailer. Back to my notes. New game trailer. We Happy Few. Officially out in August. However, since they showed the trailer, which was all very much like that initial trailer they showed, I've heard that it's basically a completely different game, because people have played it at the show and they've said it's a BioShock game now. It's the game that everyone thought it was going to be.
They brought in someone else, I forget who, they brought in another team to basically make it the game that we thought we saw last year or year before.
Yeah.
Because was it? Yeah, it was 2 years ago, wasn't it? We first saw it, and it looked like this really cool, interesting BioShock-esque game, and then it went into early access, and everyone's like, "Oh no, it's just a slightly rubbish survival game." Basically they've listened to that feedback, and apparently it's.
I played it, Sean. It was a fucking joke. It was awful. But it looks like they've made a game now.
Yeah. Fair play to them. That's what early access is for,
Yep. Totally.
So that's out in August, you say?
August.
Yeah.
They probably said a date, but
is that Game Pass as well, or is that just?
Didn't say that.
I would presume so. If it's a Microsoft studio now.
I'd assume it would be.
With first party, I'd assume it'd be on there, right? Okay, another exclusive. Looks like PUBG. Has to be PUBG. War Mode, Winter 2018. It was PUBG, but I don't really know what it was. This bit was a bit weird. Yeah, they just showed some people playing PUBG. Well, not people playing PUBG. It was a trailer of PUBG characters running around shooting.
Yeah.
and then it just said War Mode coming 2018.
See, I assumed this made sense if you'd played PUBG.
No,
okay.
No, unless it's already out on the PC and I haven't heard about it.
Maybe, I don't know.
They said there's new maps coming. There's a new winter map coming later, and some other stuff. But yeah,
okay.
But PUBG's great, so whatever. More PUBG, fine. Cartoon anime style. I'm assuming this is the next trailer. I haven't written that down.
Vesperia. Yeah.
Tales of Vesperia. Don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Is this important, Sean?
Nah, only if you really like JRPGs.
Next trailer. This might be The Division 2. This one is a gameplay trailer. Looks like a big step up from The Division. Actually, this looks fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Division 2, another game that I don't think many people were expecting to get pumped for. But, I mean, we'll mention it again during the Ubisoft conference, but my word, does that look like it's a game
Where's
now.
Where's it set?
Washington.
Is it Detroit? Washington, yeah, because you saw the White House.
Okay,
right?
so at least it's not New York, but I mean, although New York was fine. Okay, so it's another big US city. Okay. Yeah. Anything that seems remotely new or exciting or different about this one?
Well, it's not set in winter. Like this is like spring, whatever.
Yeah, because the setting is it's what 6 months on or something. Like the virus is basically fucked off, but now America's just in an absolute state. So it's more people fucking each other over rather than there's this virus going around. But yeah, it did look really good, didn't it? Was this, I forget, it was this one where they did the actual gameplay footage, wasn't it? They did do the whole fake banter between the players thing.
Again.
Like someone's down in another bit of the map. He's like, "Oh, guys, I found some great loot down here. You should be there." Yeah, all right, mate.
Loot. I mean, obviously, famously, like the first one, it looked amazing when it was demoed, and there's like the whole shutting the door animation. But then when it came out, there was a bit of a downgrade in graphics.
Yeah, but for starters, it's an Ubisoft game. Always take their trailers with a pinch of salt. They're famous for downgrading their visuals. Yeah. But this is not a new IP, is it? So this is not the first time we're seeing it, and it did look plausible, and it did look fucking good.
I mean,
and
what's been really interesting?
The first one.
Sorry.
Well, yeah. I mean, I level capped straight away, and then within 2 weeks, I think, and then I played it for a bit longer. But all of the Dead Zone stuff was good, but there was nothing keeping me there. As James said, it really did add to it later, but I never went back.
I was going to say, what's been really interesting?
It change over time. It got a lot better because I played it. For a long time, for about 6 months or so, and it really did improve over the time. Yeah,
because what was really interesting was after this, a lot of the noise was that looked great, but did you know, apparently the first one's wicked now, and it's £6 in your local CEX. So yeah, a few of us have been like, do you know what, I'd be tempted to have a go on that.
The first one had potential, and I enjoy what I played, and I heard there was significant changes, so okay, that's definitely one to look out for.
Matt, our crew are pumped for it.
Yeah, they love the first one, didn't they? So.
Talking about Game Pass now, fast start. Missed what this was. Soccer Raiders gone to penalties, and so fast start. They made a big thing of it. It's about. They explained it to me afterwards. It's like that preloading thing where you can play it before it's fully downloaded, but it's what would they say, 10 times faster or some shit.
Can't remember. I didn't really follow what this was.
It was
to be honest.
just.
You can start playing earlier.
That's using AI to allow you to play your
Does anyone
games,
actually do that? Because you can do it now if you put Xbox and maybe also PlayStation, but definitely Xbox. You put a disc in, it says ready to start playing. But I don't bother now because I've done it before, and I can do it one bit, and then I just have to stop or wait. And
once you do it once, it pisses you off, and you never do it again. You wait till it's fully downloaded.
Get into it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Okay, then they showed a bunch of indie games. Now, I didn't watch a thing of this because of the penalties. So, did anyone pick up anything from the indie game section?
Tunic looks wicked.
I heard a lot about this.
Yeah, so basically, sort of Zelda-type game, but you play as a little fox. Really beautiful, low polygon art style. Really nice music from the guy that did the music for Dust Force. Have any of you played that?
Nope.
No, but I remember it was basically the game that Capone Adam invented on Joypod.
Oh, yeah.
What was it? What did he call Zuma Broom or something? It was like a Wii game.
Yeah, that looks wicked. I didn't know anything else, I don't think. Was this where they
fine.
Is this where they showed the new Cuphead stuff, or was that separate?
No, that's
separate.
Yeah.
Then they put Tomb Raider, just put again, looks fantastic. I mean, it looks like a Tomb Raider game. It doesn't look anything different to the previous two, but it does look good, and I'm sure it will be good. And then this was probably the reaction on Twitter for this next game was fucking. I mean, I can't even describe it, Matt. I can't even describe it. It was the most mental 1 minute I've ever seen on Twitter on my timeline. And right, here's my notes. Right, what is this? Is it Skate? What? Holy shit! It's a Skate game. No way, it's called Session. So
hang on, basically, so this is a Kickstarter game, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So
is it a Kickstarter?
Yeah, so this has been around for a while, but
I did not know that.
But it didn't look half as good as it did in the trailer at the Microsoft conference.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because I went through the same thing as everyone else. Like, holy fuck, it's Skate 4. Oh no, it's Session, but that's fine because just because it's not Skate. Like, if EA aren't going to make Skate anymore, then I'm quite happy for someone else to have a go.
Were you on the internet, Matt, when the whole Skate 3 thing happened, or was that after you
logged off? Which one? When? This year?
So just before E3 started, all the Skate 3 servers come back online?
No.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Fuck.
So everyone was like, did you not see the reports? Everyone was like, oh my god, Skate 4's coming. Skate fucking 4's coming. Look, all the Skate 3 stuff has been put back online. What the fuck is going on? So then when EA finished and Skate 4 wasn't announced, everyone was like, so what was that all about? Like, everyone just assumed that Skate 4 was being announced, right? Yeah. Or at the very least, a Skate 3 sort of remaster. Yeah. So when they showed this, and my God, Matt, does it look like a Skate game?
Yeah, I mean, because I remember the Kickstarter, because I think, I'm not sure when it was, a year or two ago, but there's like, this is basically, we're making a Skate game because EA wasn't, and it looked like exactly a Skate game, but it was a Kickstarter game. So presumably they just bought the studio or whatever, and they're
I think they're just
publishing?
Yeah, I think they're just helping them publish it on the Xbox.
Oh, really?
I think so.
I didn't know. They didn't say it was published by Xbox.
Maybe not then.
Yeah. Either way,
no signs. It's just they showed the trailer.
So the thing is,
people, Matt, honestly, people went absolutely nuts. Right, absolutely nuts. Like big industry people, like Screbbles was going, "Oh my god, it's Skate 4!" Like going mental, and then like within a minute going, "What? Oh." What?
Did anyone remember the Kickstarter? Like, did people quickly clock up?
So I remember, as soon as it came up with the name, I was like, fuck no, I do remember this. So I've gone back, and there is a demo on the Kickstarter page. Now, to be fair, it's a few years old, so it's probably come a long way since. But I downloaded it and had to go, fuck me, it's not good. So it's not, like, the controls aren't the same as they are in Skate. So if you're playing with a controller, it's the left and right triggers to turn. And then rather than it just being one stick to turn you and one stick for your feet, it's one stick is your left foot and one stick is your right foot.
Oh, right.
So in order to do an ollie, you like pull down on the right stick and then flick up with the left, and it's fucking hard, man. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if they've kept that or if they have. I mean, if they have literally just made it the same as Skate, I would not complain at all. I think that's probably the right way to do it, but I don't know.
We don't know.
That's interesting. So, any idea about release date or?
I don't think there was there? It was just.
I haven't written anything down.
So, whenever there was a Skate game, was it like
what I've written next pretty much sums it up now. But yeah, no. What I wrote next was: there's so much to take in here. We're straight onto another game. Missed the title. And then the next bit says, I've lost focus here because my mate just scored the winning penalty in Soccer Raid. So, does anyone got anything written after Sessions?
I've got Devil May Cry 5 next. Is that not?
Yeah, I've got Devil May Cry 5 written. Okay. So maybe I didn't miss the title.
What was that thing, the Black Desert?
Oh, fuck. Yeah, don't bother.
Oh, that's the one
They've done this before. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. They showed the trailer for it. And it's like, fuck me, this looks like Dynasty Warriors on crack. It looks amazing. And then it's like, oh no, it's an MMO. It's a free MMO. Don't bother. I tried and it's not good. So yeah, Devil May Cry 5.
So we've ruined it a little bit. Devil May Cry 5 got announced. Yeah. That was pretty exciting.
I
mean, I'm not a Devil May Cry fan. I think I played Devil May Cry 4. But was that DMC? Which one was DMC?
No, so Devil May Cry 4 was the last Capcom one, and then DMC was after that.
Right, so I played 4, DMC, I've heard nothing but good things about.
Well, this is the thing, right? Because normal people who know what they're fucking talking about, really like DMC. Devil May Cry fans, on the other hand, thought it was like a fucking, it was like sacrilege because it doesn't have white hair anymore, and he's not got his bare chest out all the time, and it's different. I don't like it. Yeah, it's different, and it's actually better than at least half the Devil May Cry games. But okay, so Devil May Cry 5 looks wicked. Like, let's get that out of the way. But when they, so two guys came out to talk about it, and they were fully giving it. So bear in mind, this is not 5 minutes after Microsoft had just boasted about buying Ninja Theory, who made DMC. These two guys come out and they're like, we know the fans have been, asking us to make a proper sequel to Devil May Cry, and it's like, fuck you, throwing them under the bus like that. I thought it was really shitty. Like, DMC is a fucking good game. I thought that was odd, but Devil May Cry 5 looks ace, so whatever.
The only thing that always puts me off with those games, I'm sure they're brilliant and whatever, but is the lead character. I mean, the whole trailer was him going, I want to milk the and I'm going, man, I fucking hate that guy. Like, I really do. It's like, and I'm like, oh god, just fucking kill things and just stick to that. Like, there was so much cutscene stuff.
Yeah, there was.
Oh, it looks like he got shot in the head.
So it's still emo.
Irritating me. Yeah, oh god,
it is still, because it's not Dante, is it? It's fucking Nero, the other guy with short white hair instead of long white hair. That's how you tell the difference between the two.
Both sound the same. Both say the same fucking shit.
Yeah. But no, it does look wicked. But.
Right, then they moved on to Cuphead. There's more Cuphead coming in 2019, but I didn't understand if it was a sequel or DLC. What was
DLC?
It's
DLC, yeah.
Right, okay. Fair enough. I mean, people adored that game. It hit an audience, didn't it? Yeah. And people loved it, and more Cuphead is all good for them. Right. Isometric indie game where you control a fox. So I'm guessing this is Tunic.
Shit, sorry, this is Tunic. Yeah.
Okay, so mention that. From this, right, so Phil Spencer come out now, and he said, right, from this point, everything we show you will be a Microsoft, a world premiere, was his words. And then I just put, Microsoft are taking the piss at this point, because it felt really good. Like, they were just hammering games out constantly. I mean, considering how much we've spoken about, Matt, like, it was pretty intense. Like, it was just like, whoa, what, like, it was hard to keep up with everything they were showing. And then when he come out and said, everything we show is a world exclusive, it was pretty impressive.
World exclusive or world premiere?
I was going to say...
World premiere, sorry,
also,
world premiere.
I presume they stopped the whole, like, world console exclusive, all that, because last year's really confusing.
No, that was still going on.
That was all a bit of a confusing mess still.
Xbox exclusive and stuff, but we still don't know what that means.
Better than last year's, like, console exclusive, or console launch exclusive, or some bollocks.
Yeah.
That was better, at least you knew what it was.
Didn't they still have things that still said, like, console launch exclusive?
I don't think so.
No, they didn't. They dropped that completely and just said Xbox exclusive.
Okay, hit me.
Or just exclusive, wasn't it? That's all it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, they specified. Yeah.
But it didn't really make sense. Right, okay. Looks like a Dragon Ball game. Yep, but looks like a third-person action game rather than a fighter. Jump Force.
Yeah, it's Jump Force. Is
it Dragon Ball?
No, it's a fighting game that focuses on characters from Shonen Jump. Like it has
the characters were from Dragon Ball though, right?
I know, but they're in Shonen Jump though, so it's like they got all of those together and then.
Can we just say Dragon Ball instead of Dragon Ball? I'm a bit uncomfortable with the.
All right, Dragon Ball. Good. Is that how you say?
I mean, I'm not even a fan, but Dragon Ball just sounds weird.
Yeah, but they're two separate words.
It's Dragon Ball, isn't it? Oh, I don't know. I'm not the anime nerd.
It's written as one word, but I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, is it? All right, Dragon Ball. Right. So this is from Dragon Ball, right? Is it from Dragon Ball?
What? It's playing Dragon Ball. It sounds weird.
Either way, it's a new jump fighting game. Let's move on.
It's just loads of people from anime shit. It's fine. Go on.
Fuck off, Sean.
Okay. Dying Light 2 was next. On-stage demo looks alright, but Yeah, I didn't play the first game. This was apparently a big surprise. Now, I never played the first game. Again, it's one of those games that I've heard nothing but good things about. And by the sounds of it, like, fans of the first game were absolutely blown away by A, how it looked, and B, that it was coming out, because it was a total surprise out of nowhere.
Is this made by Zombie Studios? Does anyone know?
I've no idea.
I think it's the same studio, yeah.
Yeah, because basically I think Anthony Gallegos, like former 1UP, he's now like, he does loads of other stuff, but he's a game developer, he's on like Rebel FM. He worked for Zombie Studios, worked on the first one, but loads of them got made redundant. So I guess it maybe was a surprise because I thought the studio was gutted, but maybe it's a different game. But okay, it's all
no one mentioned that on the podcast.
Okay, so what was interesting is, of all people, they got Chris Avallone on stage because apparently he's doing all the story stuff. For those who don't know, he's been working in RPGs for most of his life. So he worked on the early Fallout games and stuff, and he's a good fucking writer. Basically he talked through the fact that so there's going to be all this, like, this sort of big branching story in the game, and you making decisions, and that affects how this sort of town that you're in. There's this thing like between this and the Division 2 and possibly something else that I've forgotten. There was a weird sort of post-apocalypse thing going on.
There was loads of post-apocalyptic stuff. Because there's Fallout as well, and it was like...
But it was
that was one of the jokes, wasn't it? Because at the end, Phil Spencer did the whole, we've got a very diverse lineup if you like post-apocalyptic games.
But it was but this and Division 2 were both like, okay, so this is sort of after everything's totally fucked, and things are sort of being rebuilt, but not quite. And it was sort of, he talked you through this example of you get to the end of this mission, do you kill someone or don't you? And then that helps out different factions and the town changes, and it seemed quite interesting. I don't know, if it's just that binary the whole time, do you murder someone or not, then that's maybe not so interesting. But
I've heard they're excellent games. I mean, the first one was excellent. So.
I thought it looked brilliant. But this was another example, though, of why it's really good for Microsoft to go first, because they say world exclusive, and it kind of makes it sound like this is like an Xbox game, but it's also coming.
Well,
to everything else.
We'll get to
that.
There's
a world premiere, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, God, yeah, Phil fucked up later, Matt. I'll get to that. Right, okay, so after that, it was exclusive again. This one is exclusive. Battletoads! Battletoads is back.
Okay. Yeah, it's a reboot.
No footage, just a logo coming 2019. Did anyone want
it's been rumoured, isn't it?
This is one of those games where Battletoads was legitimately never good. That was never a good game, and I don't know why anyone would be interested in a new one of those.
Yeah, they put one of the Battletoads in Killer Instinct last year or something.
Yeah,
it was a Red Replay connection, wasn't it?
Testing the water. Yeah.
It's a terrible game.
Yeah.
Straight onto another trailer. Dark screen. Someone running around a house. Holy shit! It's Splinter Cell.
Yes!
3 green dots that disappear.
Yes.
Hold on, Matt. Splinter Cell Survival is the name. Coming August 10th. So pretty soon. It come out of nowhere. Then Phil came on stage, excited to reveal Splinter Cell. It's a battle royale game, Matt.
Oh, fuck off!
No.
Wait.
That was my initial feeling as well. But what they have done is quite interesting. They've got quite a different take. But go on.
Okay, so we can talk about this game. He come out and he said that there's an open beta available now, and it's exclusive to Xbox One. And that's where Phil fucked up, because it turns out that the game is not exclusive to Xbox One. It's coming out on PS4, but the open beta was exclusive to Xbox One. Right. So everyone was like, holy shit, there's a Battle Royale game. There was all this chatter going on, and then Sony tweeted the trailer again and said, coming to PS4 in August 2018. And it was like, what the fuck is going on?
So it's just multiplayer Splinter Cell
Matt, we've played it. We can talk about it.
Okay, fantastic.
So it launched that day. We downloaded it. It was supposed to launch until today, but they've had to extend it because, fucking hell, the day it come out, we couldn't get a game for shit. It was totally fucked.
Were you playing on? So you only play on Xbox because the open beta is only on Xbox.
Yeah, it's only on Xbox. So Sean hasn't played it, but we've been speaking about it in a WhatsApp or whatever. Matt is fucking genius. genius. The game is genius. Yeah. It's not, I'll get to you later because you've only played a couple of games anyway, so fuck you, James, right? It's not set on an island or anything like that. It's put a real different twist on it.
It's 100 sandfishers drop from a plane.
No, there's no, you just spawn in a room. You're in a skyscraper. And the whole idea is that although you're not like running around looting for weapons and shoot, there's only one weapon in the game, Matt. There's only one weapon, and you start with it. It's a pistol, and the idea is that you're basically it's like hide and seek, like a massive game of hide and seek. So you're sitting in this like huge skyscraper, and in fact, actually, it's kind of bullshit that it's a Splinter Cell game. You can do like moves where you go up and hide into the corner of the rooms and stuff, but I'll get to that. It feels more like Rainbow Six Siege.
Okay, like, I'm interested.
It's all gadget based, right? No, it's first person.
Oh, right.
Trust me, Matt, you're going to want to play it. It's fucking good. It's all gadget based, so you're not scavenging around for weapons, you're scavenging around for gadgets, and you've only got like one slot. And the idea is like the skyscraper is totally dark. The way you know which like where to go, like, you know, the equivalent of the circle closing in is that different floors get filled with gas, and it obviously like ends in one of the floors or whatever. And yeah, I mean, it's fucking brick right. So let me tell you about some of the gadgets. There's like a trip mine filled with paint. So if the paint goes on the person, they're really easy to see in the rooms and stuff. There's like obviously night vision goggles. There's one of my favourites is suction pads. So the thing is that although you're not looking for weapons, you haven't got one up over weapons, you've got these gadgets that essentially help you either find people or hide from people. And then there's essentially two ways to kill people. You can either get in behind them and snap their neck, or shoot them with a pistol, and it's one shot kills, but only if you hit them in the head. But so basically the idea is it's fucking hard to shoot people. So you're not running around shooting. You're finding a place, hiding, and hoping no one finds you.
See, also,
it's fucking tense, man.
One of the things that does
probably the most tense game I've ever played.
Pretty cool is that like you have like, because if you like fire off your gun, although it's silenced, you can still kind of hear it. So it's like if you do that and you miss, then it's like it's horrible because they might know where you are. I mean, there's also, I mean, like Dave was saying about the gadgets, there's this silent dart as well. So you can like, if you find this, you can like tag people. Like, so if you like miss, you can still, you can like tag someone.
Did you know you could take them off, James? Like you can rip off the dart. If you find a mirror and you can see something like flashing on your body, you can rip them off.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
It's fucking quality. It's quality, right? And it totally seemed like the suction pads. It totally seemed like that was overpowered. So on one game, I was in this room. I went up onto the roof right against, like, I basically stood, or I was hanging off the roof above the doorway. And as someone walked in, I just dropped down and snapped their neck, right? But then I found out that someone had a heat signal thing. So they stood outside the room and basically just saw like this outline of me hanging, just like waiting for someone to walk through the doorway. And they just walked in and popped me in the head, and that was that. So it feels like, at the moment, it feels like every single gadget has like sort of nothing seems too overpowered. I've not won a game yet, but trust me, it's only got duos. There's nothing more than duos at the moment, and they haven't announced whether you can play 4-player squads or anything. But our boys have been fucking loving it, Matt. It's good.
How many players does it start the round with?
100. It's 100 players.
Wow, okay.
It's a full 100, but there's only 26 floors. So, in theory, there's 4 people spawns on each floor. I don't know if that actually works out that way, but I've been loving it. I've got reservations. At the moment, the map is a bit shit because it's a 3D view of the tower, and it's kind of hard to see not so much what floors are getting filled up, but like how you get from one floor to the other. I've had a few situations where I've like got into an air vent, and then like there's only a way up rather than a way down, so it's hard to sort of get to the floors that you need to get to in time before it fills up with gas. And you know, I'm a little bit worried if this is a full price game, because if it's just this one map, and I don't know, it could be, I don't know. I think it's going to be fucking brilliant.
You see, there are things about it that are cool. I mean, it doesn't look great. Like that was one problem I had with it.
Yeah, it looks alright. It looks fine, but considering how much is going on in the game, James, it looks fine.
I know.
It looks on par with Rainbow Six Siege.
I mean, I did think like the weather effects were pretty cool because one of the other things with this is because obviously you're trying to hide. Occasionally, like this doesn't happen in every single like game mode, but sometimes there's like lightning and stuff. So
I've had a couple of times where you're in a room and you're hiding, and then the lightning flashes, and you see just someone in the other corner of the same room as you.
That sounds well good.
So that's
and then all of a sudden you just hear them as they're firing like pistol at you. You're just running for the exits, try and get away from them. It's fucking brilliant.
I mean, the thing is about it is also, I mean, there's been no mention, obviously, about pricing, but then also this is going to get loot crates and everything, isn't it? And that's
it isn't.
Surely everyone's learned now.
There's no way they're going to drop. But what they're going to do is they're going to run the Rainbow Six Siege model where they'll add to it, but it'll all be free.
I was going to say, like, if
I guess
if Rainbow Six Siege is anything to go by, like, yeah, even if, I mean, I say I've not played it, but if you have got reservations about it, like, they've got previous for supporting these things and actually...
Yeah, I know, but then saying that, Rainbow Six Siege, the way that works, you can either unlock stuff through renown points, or you can pay for it. The problem is they can't do that with this, because the characters don't really matter. I mean, Sam Fisher ain't even in it, unless they drop him as a skin or something, but then even then,
if you can't fucking see anyone most of the time. Like,
exactly. And they can't just drop gadgets in that you buy, because then that totally fucks the balance of the game. I don't know the future of this game. All I know is that we've been playing it we had a few games last night, a few games the night before, and fucking loved it.
It's buggy though, it as well. I mean, I got kicked out of games so many times as well.
Yeah, I mean, the servers are fucked, but it's a beta, and it they'll sort that out. I mean, they haven't got long, but August, a couple of months.
So there's no single player, there's no Sam Fisher, and it's Battle Royale.
Yeah. It's a Battle Royale game.
In what way is this Splinter Cell, really? It's just...
Well, this is it.
I mean, my other complaint, because I want a single player Splinter Cell again.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's what I want.
I'm guessing because, it did feel more Rainbow Six, but I'm guessing because it's a stealth game rather than an action game. Like, it totally feels stealth. You're hiding places. Like, you can walk into cupboards, you can hide in cupboards, you can hide in corners of rooms, you can hide behind stuff, under beds and stuff like that. So I'm guessing that's what the link is.
Who's it being developed by?
I don't actually know. Ubisoft.
Yeah, it's just an internal Ubisoft one, isn't it?
I don't know what portion of
Montreal, I guess, yeah.
Interesting.
I didn't see any of it. Just come up Ubisoft, but I'm fucking
What's it called again? Splinter Cell
Survival.
So, I mean, I played, I like the bits of single player, the previous ones. But obviously, everyone raved about, was it Spires versus Mercs?
Yeah. Well, that's that. I mean, that's clearly where they've taken that idea and evolved it. Because because they brought that out on the 360, I think. I mean, it was originally on one of the older games, wasn't it? Was it on the original Xbox when that game mode came out for an old Splinter Cell?
I could be wrong, probably wrong.
I don't know, but yeah, no, It's fucking brilliant, and that's. I mean, I would suggest we play it after this map, but got a feeling this is going to be going on quite late, so we'll have to play it tomorrow.
I have no idea what I'm going to be doing after this. And so the beat is on now, but it's getting extended until some point.
Extended till Sunday. Is what they've said so far.
Cool. Okay, so I've got the weekend to try it. Okay, this sounds exciting.
You've got the weekend to try it. Yeah, it's going to be... It's good.
Okay, cool.
It's as good. And you know what? One of our friends is insanely excited about it.
Mr.
Chet Roivas. He's already texted me 4 times during recording, saying, when you coming on?
Not surprised.
All right.
Awesome, okay.
Right, okay. So then they moved back to the trailers. Just Cause 4 now.
That was leaked, wasn't it?
I put not so sure this is a world premiere. We all knew about this. Right. Then
what's the hook this time? Is it just another open world island?
Nothing. It looks like Just Cause. That's it. Okay. Nothing new to say. Then the Gears logo showed up.
Oh, mama. Okay.
Everyone went absolutely nuts, right? And I will read you.
I love this bit.
I will read you my notes. Wait, what? Some little pop character comes out of the Gears logo. Gears Pop, coming 2019. What the fuck was that?
What?
Someone on stage talking about it. Oh, it's a mobile game, I think.
Yeah, it was a Gears Mobile Funko Pop game. And it's
bullshit.
I was going to, right, Matt, fucking, we called this. We're like, there's no fucking way Matt's going to believe this.
Gears the best thing about this, Matt, honestly, this is in all seriousness, was everyone was pumped, everyone was excited, and then it was like, it's a Funko Pop mobile game, and everyone was like...
You see the Gears logo, everyone's going nuts, and this little Funko Pop character with a Gears gun walks out, and we were just going, what?
I mean, so Funko Pops, I'm aware, obviously, they're like the plastic model things, but like, what the fuck is this game?
Did they even? They didn't show because they then went straight into actual Gears of War, didn't they?
No,
did they not? And you spoiled it. It was Gears Tactics next.
Oh, sorry,
Gears Tactics.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So again, one of the rules that there was a plethora of new Gears games.
Yeah,
we don't know about the Gears Pop game, Matt. All we know is that it's Gears Pop.
And it's mobile.
People were not impressed.
No.
So Tactics, they showed a bit of gameplay. I mean, it didn't look that thrilling, but then, turn-based strategy games never do.
I thought it looked good. It's
isometric.
I mean, it's PC only.
It's PC only,
which I thought was weird. Like we've had enough XCOM games and stuff on consoles. We know they work, so that seemed weird as well.
Right. Yeah, no, it looks shit. And then I put, because I put, some Gears Tactics game, turn-based strategy. I don't know what's going on here. And then I put, now he drops Gears 5, crowd going nuts. Oh wow, trailer. It was just a trailer, but it was alright. There was nothing.
It was alright.
There's nothing exceptional.
It really looked like just more of the same. And I don't know, I was not impressed.
It really did look like more of the same, didn't it? I think it's a female protagonist this time.
It is, yes, Kate.
But there was nothing there to make you feel, whoa, they're changing the game. It felt like a Gears game.
Yeah, and is this done by the team? I can't remember the name. Like the new team developed. They're just doing Gears games. I think they made Judgment. Anyone know?
I don't know. They didn't say, did they?
They didn't. I
don't know.
I'm sure that the new studio is called like the something like the. It's got some like Gears of War sounding name, but
it was just so weird because they showed a lengthy cutscene from it. And fuck me, it's like watching, like starting a TV show at like the 5th series or something. And I'm just like, I haven't a fucking clue who any of these people are. Like, obviously, Marcus Phoenix shows up.
Yeah, but you're not a fan, are you?
No.
Like, I feel like that with any anime game that comes on screen.
What's that? I don't play anime games. What's that got to do with it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just one of those series where I'm like,
do you
not
play
care,
Dragon Ball?
I do.
Dragon Ball. Sorry, Dragon Ball. It's a Dragon Ball.
Okay.
Right.
I don't think I'll ever say this, but I sort of want to know more about the Funko Pop game.
I think we all do.
So do we.
I'm just looking it up to have a look and see if there's any more detail. But
Phil back on stage, talking about what they're doing. They're looking into cloud streaming. Right, so they were talking about cloud streaming again. They want you to play Xbox games on any device, was what they kept saying. Right? They're talking about their next consoles.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. They basically said, we want you to know that our team are deep within work, like developing the architecture or whatever you said for our next Xbox consoles.
Yeah, that was the interesting thing. Was we said like Xbox consoles like plural, like rather than just like just a single device.
Did you not think this was a bit weird though, given that the One X hasn't been out?
I thought it was a terrible idea, Sean, because after they announced this, I just thought, well, okay, they're not far off. I have no interest now in buying a One X. I'm just going to wait.
Right,
they were wait another year or so.
They were always going to beat Sony to the punch to PS5. They just like they did with the 360. They have to get out now before the next PlayStation. But consoles,
or have they? We got Sony to talk about, Matt. Don't worry about
that. but it just in the here and now before we talk about Sony. Yeah, I mean, I guess in my mind, without knowing anything about this, I guess they would think, here's a new version of the X, whatever that could be, and here's like a new cheaper S version. I don't know. But.
No, I think they're going to do what they did last time, and they'll say.
They'll
bring out They'll bring out a new version of an X, a new version of an S, whereas the S will be as good as the current X, and the new X will be better than it'll be the new really high expensive thing.
I think what's interesting is like
Connect 3, like
and then they'll drop support for the S. That's what they'll do.
Yeah, like is it going to be like whatever comes next, is it going to be like another proper like cut-off point leap forward, or is it going to be like, are they going to try and carry on with this thing of like, no, if you've got an Xbox, you've got an Xbox, same as if you've got an iPhone, you've got an iPhone. Like, yeah, they stop.
No, but it's same with the iPhone. They have cut-off points where they no longer support.
Exactly, yeah, they just sort of quietly phase one out.
And I think the next two consoles they bring out, it will be cutting off the S, but I think the X will still be supported. I think that's the way they'll do it.
I think they're going to last for quite a lot longer, though, like the older machines. Like with iPhones, it's like that. I mean, they last usually quite a while. I mean, you can still play stuff that comes out on those, in poor quality, but it's still possible.
Yeah,
and it's like with PC gaming. I mean, it's kind of the same, isn't it? It's like you can still get away with playing stuff on a rubbish machine, but it's not great.
Yeah,
unlike PC gaming, though, there's a cut-off point. There's not a cut-off point on PC gaming.
Well, there is.
How do they get into this? Like, how did they sort of go from games to new console architecture?
This was part of the whole thing of like, as I said, like the theme of the conference, like this whole idea of like, we're in this for the long haul. Like we've got these new studios.
That was the feeling. Yeah, that's totally the feeling that come out of it. They kind of said, we're not going away. We're focusing on the future.
Like, we're still going.
Yeah. That's pretty much what they said. They're working on them now. Rousing speech from Phil here about the Xbox commitment to the future, as James said. Was just saying goodbye, then some crazy cutting out shit happened. So he was wrapping up, and then it started going blip, and then like the screen went crazy, and then an MS-DOS thing come up with red text instead of white.
Oh my God.
And then it was like console sounds of tapping away, and then it went down to something called E3 trailer.vid or whatever it was, and then activated it. I'll just read you what I've written down. Code running on screen, piano music, E3 world premiere. Don't know why I put E3 there. I'm just assuming that's what they said. CD Projekt Red.
Yeah. Oh my God, Cyberpunk.
Yeah, boy.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Fuck,
they got it. They haven't got Cyberpunk, but
they had it on stage.
Yeah.
As in, okay.
No, they not only had it on stage, it was playable at E3, James.
Wait,
Have you not heard the news?
What? No, it wasn't.
Yes. Well, no, sorry. It wasn't playable at E3, but the press got behind the screen's playthrough by someone at CD Projekt Red.
Holy shit.
Basically, Matt, this is the vast majority of the press's game of the show. They've said, although it was a pretty straightforward trailer that looked good, don't get me wrong, it looked really good, they're saying that the gameplay stuff they saw afterwards absolutely blew them away. Like, this is going to be big.
And for context, the reason, the actual gameplay stuff that has been shown behind closed doors is not being shown to the public because CD Projekt Red don't think it's up to snuff. Meanwhile, every journalist is walking out going like, this is fucking years ahead of anything else that is happening. Apparently it's just obscene. So there's no... watch the trailer, but there's no footage of the actual game. You're just going to have to go off all the write-ups, but they are all absolutely glowing.
So was it like a CG, or was it gameplay in the trailer?
So the trailer was in engine, wasn't it, I think, but it was all cutscenes and stuff, yeah.
I mean, it gave you a general idea of the themes of the game, and it looks good. But I mean, what's exciting is the reaction to it. People are coming out and saying,
killing themselves watching it.
Oh my God, they're saying it's unbelievable. By the sounds of it, it's a first-person shooter game. However, the what's coming out is that it's an RPG first, a first-person shooter second. It's very much like, it sounds like Fallout with good combat in a very interesting setting. I haven't read much about stuff that it does that's so mind-blowing, but
apparently
everyone's very, very excited.
What's his name? Is it John Linneman, the Digital Foundry guy? I saw a couple of his tweets, and he was basically just like it's a fucking city, and you just walk into buildings and they're massive and detailed. Like, apparently just the sheer scale of it is just unbelievable.
Amazing. So, and that's such a massive get for Microsoft to have that.
Yeah.
At the end of their thing. Wow. Huge.
Yeah.
And that was the end of the show.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to talk about the Microsoft conference without talking about Sony's. At the time, the general feeling was amongst all of us, I think. What a show, but what Microsoft had to show wasn't going to convince people to convert from.
Yeah, like I'm still on that, on that fence of like, well, the few exclusives, like, okay, so Horizon 4, if it runs on my laptop, that's like the only thing that, like, if it didn't, I'd be like, right, I do need an Xbox for this. Everything else was either multi-format or I wasn't bothered. So, but it was a good fucking show. Like, no,
it was a fucking good show. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Phil came across really well throughout. The games it was hard to keep up with the games that they were showing us. It was just like, as you say, an hour and 40 minutes of just content being piled into your face. And it made for a very interesting. It
sounds like they did really, really well. I can't wait to see it.
But it was just the fact that you're watching it and you just, well, for me anyway, I was sitting there just watching it thinking, this is really good. This is a great show. Most of these I'm going to play on my PlayStation.
Yeah.
Because I've got a PS4 Pro, I haven't got an Xbox One X. And yeah.
So, obviously none of you got X's, not sure, and you haven't even got an Xbox One. So, this wasn't enough to make you think, I've got to get an Xbox, because...
I think I'm at there now.
I think there was a lot of, like, basically almost every trailer was like, oh yeah, enhanced in 4K and everything for the Xbox One X, wasn't it? But...
Yeah, and I mean, like, this is what I was saying to the other two, like, after the conference. I was saying, yeah, no, I get that a lot of them were third-party games, but you've got to understand, if you want to play third-party games in the best way possible at the moment, you need an Xbox One X. So, clearly, the third-party market, they're claiming that at the moment, because games are going to be running and looking better on the X than they do the Pro.
But then when we come to Sony's conference, you see one that, I don't know, I don't think that falls away a bit.
I totally agree with you, James. I totally agree with your point, but we'll get there. Yeah.
Amazing.
So that was Microsoft. What do you think?
It sounds it sounds like they've done a lot of things that I'd hoped, and many others had hoped that they would do: show off new games, get people pumped. They have some big exclusives or exclusive trailers. I mean, I'm not 100% clear about what is actually exclusive or not, but it sounds like they did everything that we wanted to do: show the games.
They did that thing, and this happened a few times throughout E3, where they said it's available now, and getting to play a game that you just seen a reveal trailer of was a special moment. Yeah. Like it was. Like, I mean, all right, we couldn't play it that night, but the fact that we could play a game that we'd just seen was pretty fucking exciting.
Yeah. I'm excited to see that Splinter Cell, and obviously Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Cyberpunk is it's less about the trailer, more about what people are saying about it. The buzz around that game so far is really big. Yeah, cool. Right, okay. So what come after? How many?
So then it was Bethesda. Yeah.
So Bethesda, yeah.
I'll be quick because fucking hell, we need to speed this up because.
Well, I mean,
the Bethesda one was great.
It was really good. So this kicked off. I can't remember. Did someone come out? Was it Pete Hines came out first and did a bit, and then made way. Well, he said like, oh yeah, now we're going to do a bit about Rage 2. Fucking Andrew WK comes out.
Okay.
I don't even know who he is.
Does a performance of Ready to Die, which is fucking amazing.
Who is he?
You never heard of him?
Never heard of Andrew WK? Party Hard.
What? How's that go?
I'm not going to fucking.
We're not going to sing it. But
cool. Is that the one that goes done party?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
right, because that song that he played was exactly like it.
Yeah,
was it supposed to be
his first album, every song is like that.
Right, okay. I mean, it was embarrassing.
Oh, it was wicked.
No. This was one of the best bits of E3. It was so embarrassingly bad and funny that it was fantastic. He came on the stage trying to get everyone worked up. He was
not working,
moving his hair around and trying to get them pumped up. And then he just kicked into the song, and he was he had his piano, and he was playing with his back to it and everything, and just trying to get everyone excited.
The crowd were appalling.
Yeah, that was what was funny because they kept on cutting to the crowd, and everyone's just sitting there no reaction,
looking at their phones and that.
So the thing to remember with Andrew WK is he is actually a very talented composer when he wants to be, but a lot of his stuff, and especially a lot of his early stuff, is really tongue in cheek. So yeah,
that's fine, but I mean, it didn't play. Yeah. It didn't play on stage at all.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't perhaps not the right setting for it. But as a fan, I was like, "Fuck me, this is amazing!" And I was properly pissed off at the audience, just fucking sitting there, just gawping at him. Apparently, because I tweeted about it and got a few replies, like, "Mate, I was there. I was fucking furious because everyone was just
why were they furious? Oh, because
everyone else was just sitting there like, who's this?" Anyway, so they showed a bit of Rage 2. I don't think did they show much that we hadn't already seen? Go on, sorry.
There was the other bit as well before that. Because they had that bit where they introduced it with the guy from Avalanche Studios as well.
Oh yeah,
and it was like there was that was one of the only awkward moments from E3. I thought was like because they like kind of tried to get this guy from Avalanche to like introduce the game, but I think he missed his cue or he got nervous or something, and then there was this really tense exchange that went on for felt like about 5 minutes of them sort of like looking at each other, and also there was a massive mismatch in height between the two guys, and it looked.
That was funny.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Rage 2, I'll say this, and I'm sure Rage fans of the original game will be angry at me for this, but it's Bulletstorm. It's fucking Bulletstorm.
I think that's valid. I think there's a lot of crossover between Rage and Bulletstorm fans as well.
Oh God. I mean, that got me interested in that game. Like, I didn't like Rage. I didn't play it for that long, admittedly, but it didn't grab my attention. Now it's grabbed my attention. It looks like Bulletstorm, like open world Bulletstorm.
Yeah,
It
looks like it's got elements of New Doom as well in terms of like the speed of it and everything.
Yes, yes.
So,
yeah.
Bang on.
It's only single player though.
Yeah,
there's no multiplayer. Because it still looked brilliant.
That's fine. It doesn't need a multiplayer component bolted on them. Yeah, from the leaks, and then obviously they presented or they released the gameplay trailer. It looked brilliant. Having not really played the first one, but it looks really good.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, one more question. So, what is Andrew WK's involvement? Is it just the fact he's done
has he played a song before?
So they've used a couple of his songs on the trailers, and then I think so they just decided to get him on stage.
That's it.
Yeah.
Matt, it was just you must see it. It was amazing. It was my favourite bit.
We're talking it was top E3 embarrassing moments ever. Like
no,
it wasn't bad. It wasn't like,
because at least like what he was
drums.
doing was like sincere and like he didn't give a shit that people weren't enjoying it. Like he was having a good time. There was no awkwardness in that sense. But right, what I've got.
Okay.
So hang on, my notes are all out of chronological order here, but I'm just going to go for it. So the Elder Scrolls Blades. It's a mobile game that is happening.
Yeah.
What do you make of this, Jake? It seemed really ambitious, but to the point, it's like no one's playing that on their phone. Like, it just seemed way too involved.
I feel sorry for Matt. Like, he wants us to get to Sony and Nintendo. We're talking about some Elder Scrolls game mobile.
So it's like a first-person 3D dungeon crawling thing with, like, sword and shield combat and magic and stuff. They're very sort of like, is it like a fully fledged Elder Scrolls game? I was like, nah, it's not though, is it? It did look impressive, but again, I don't see why I would spend any length of time playing on my phone.
They made a big thing out of the fact that it had like you could play it in portrait mode or like landscape mode. It was like designed to be played like anywhere at any time.
Yeah, they did this whole funny bit like, because if you're in a meeting and you're holding your phone in landscape mode, everyone knows you're fucking around. Whereas if it's in portrait mode,
I mean, on-screen controls are pretty bad anyway in landscape.
And
how they can screen into portrait?
And it's one of those things where it's like I'm always waiting to be convinced that this can be done well, but the footage they showed didn't look that intuitive, did it?
No, it didn't look great.
What else did we get? There's a fucking trailer for some new Elder Scrolls Online stuff. I don't know.
There was you missed there was the pretty good video for Skyrim
it's not
for
in chronological
Alexa.
Yeah, sorry, this is just all over the shop. So we're getting a new Doom, which appears to be set on Earth, but it's all fucked up. It's called Doom Eternal.
Right.
I mean, it was literally just a bit of a teaser. It wasn't really anything beyond that.
Twice the number of monsters was the headline with that.
Oh, yeah. What else? Oh, yeah, so new Wolfenstein, called Wolfenstein The Youngblood, and it is BJ Blazkowicz's two twin daughters.
So this is a direct sequel to the game from 2 years ago.
It's set like 20 years on or something, so it's set in the 80s.
It's set in the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing.
Again, no footage or anything, just a teaser, really.
I haven't really, other than the last one, I haven't really played one, but didn't there release Old Blood?
That was the Old Blood.
The Old Blood was like the budget one, right?
That was, it was like a sort of DLC, but actually it was standalone, wasn't it, or something? It was
but this is like proper full sequel.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Well, it didn't feel it, did it? Like, I mean, it did feel like a tacked on one.
Maybe.
So So you're suggesting this feels like another one, just like the one from last year, rather than like a budget 15, 20
that's
quid.
what it felt like to me, but then maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, I mean, obviously that last one was amazing, so fantastic. Any ideas about when that's coming out? Just, I presume, next year or
next year. They just said, next year. I don't think they gave anything beyond that.
Cool, okay.
Fallout Shelter's now on the PS4 and Switch. Fine.
Okay.
Right, and then we got a massive bit about Fallout 76.
Wait. You've missed a bit, Sean.
Well, go on.
You know the stuff with Prey.
Oh yeah. There's some. What is it? Was it DLC for Prey? I missed that.
Well, yeah. There's expansions for Prey, and some of it did look quite interesting because I had this they got this whole thing with procedurally generated mode.
Oh yeah.
Where the levels are different each time you play, and there's also going to be a multiplayer aspect they're going to add to it where some people can be mimics or whatever, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that went on for a bit too long. But it was fine.
So yeah, Fallout 76. Guess what? It's totally online.
Online only.
Yeah.
I mean, they say that you can just play on your own, but when they always say that, it's like, oh, but it is better with friends. It's like, yeah. So basically, you've got to team up with people. So I mean, this went on for a while, didn't it? So basically, yeah. So it's going out into the world. So that you're in one of the first vaults that opened up. The start of it is that basically you had a party in the vault to celebrate the fact that everyone was supposed to be leaving the next day, and then you overdid it and overslept, and everyone else has fucked off, and you're just in the vault on your own, and you're the last one to leave. And and basically, so it's you and everyone else trying to rebuild society, such as it is. And so it's all building, putting together little houses, or indeed entire villages or towns or whatever, I guess. I mean,
so it's focused really around the whole the building stuff they had in Fallout 4.
Not entirely, because there's also missions you go on together. Yeah. You can go as a group, and also they've added nuclear silos as well.
Yeah, so where you can do quests or team up with other people to basically get nuclear launch codes, right? And then once you've got a complete launch code, you can go to a silo, break in, fight your way through or whatever, and then basically just launch a nuke at a part of the map. So if there's someone you don't like who live, they've built their fucking town in a certain area, you can just destroy it.
See?
But what was interesting? Now I've got mixed feelings about this, which I'll get onto in a minute. But I
don't think it works. But
I thought it was interesting because basically what that does is because it just totally fucks an area over. That basically then just becomes a high level dungeon because it suddenly loads of mad enemies start appearing and also loads of really good loot. So basically that just turns that area into it becomes really dangerous, but there's loads of really good stuff in it. I just found it really odd because I really like the early Fallout games where it's obviously they have fun with the setting, but the whole point is that nukes are horrible. And then we've gone from that to Fallout 3 where it's hey, you can just shoot them at enemies now and that's cool, to hey, use them on your friends. Tonally, I just found that odd, but I do see why.
Mate, it's been totally odd for a while.
Well,
that game.
yeah,
I
exactly.
I
think it's sort of lost its way in that sense.
So, this is basically it's an online. It feels a bit like a. Is it? It feels like a sort of a 3D Fallout Shelter with friends.
I suppose it is. Yeah, in a way, I guess.
No, it feels like it felt a lot more main. Fallout game than you're making out.
Yeah.
It felt like a Fallout game. From all the footage, it looks and feels like a Fallout game.
There's no VATS system though, is there?
Yeah, so it is just a shooter.
Oh no!
Well, that is a major aspect
big because the shooting's not
you're
good
absolutely right,
it,
James.
So.
But fuck VATS, to be honest with you. I don't give a shit about it. I'm glad they're ditching that pile of shit that is, and always will be. No one will convince me otherwise. That was an awful system, and I'm glad it's dead.
Right, okay. So are any of you guys psyched about this? Or
see, that's not sitting on the fence, Sean. That's what's not sitting on the fence. Sounds like Vaz can suck my dick. What are you saying, Josh? What are you saying, Matt?
Are any of you guys psyched about this?
John is well psyched about it.
It does look good.
He's well looking forward to
it. Yeah. Just the idea of just being able to build a town with your mates and just go out and do quests and stuff, and it'd be good.
Looks alright. It
looks really nice as well. I mean, I know obviously you'd already seen it, but looks a lot better than any previous Bethesda stuff.
Yep.
there's a massive bit on that. That was good. And then they had, there's anything else I've missed, James, at the end there was a couple of reveals which were basically just logos. They revealed that they've been working on a game called Starfield, which is a space sci-fi ordeal.
Yeah, that rings a bell. That name must have leaked already, right?
Possibly, yeah. They basically said they've been working on it for fucking ages. It's been a thing they've been trying to get going for a long time. So possibly it's been rumoured for a while, I don't know. But yeah, so they've confirmed that is happening. But again, like, no real details, whether there was like...
No. Yeah. I mean, they made a thing out of saying that this is like the first new franchise that they've done for like 20 years.
Yeah.
It's like, you know...
Yeah, which is nice. Yeah, so that was that, and yeah, they confirmed they are working on the Elder Scrolls 6, and there was just a really short teaser with just a camera just panning over a landscape, which did look really nice, but it was that and a logo, and that was that.
What's it called?
Didn't give a subtitle.
It just said Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah, just the Elder Scrolls 6.
There was the Skyrim for Alexa bit as well, which I thought was all right.
Yeah. What? So
they did a self-deprecating, is that the right word?
Yeah.
It's late. They did this trailer thing where they were joking about how you can get Skyrim on everything now. It was quite good, actually. They pulled it off.
Well, they did,
and then it was funny.
And then it turned out it is actually real, and you can actually.
It is real. Yeah.
What? So how does that work?
It is real.
I mean, but they showed it playing on the fridge.
Oh yeah, but that's separate. No, the Alexa
stuff
thing
is real.
There's basically there is a version of Sky. I think it's basically just like a choose your own adventure sort of thing.
Is it based on Nightmare?
Yeah, because there's a few of those on Alexa already, isn't there? Apparently.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's games on Alexa.
Yeah. So that's real.
Okay.
So yeah, right. What came after Bethesda then? I'm trying to think.
Ubisoft?
Square Enix.
That was Square.
Ubisoft?
Okay, Square Enix. This won't take long.
But can we keep this one brief because it was really
we
boring.
Can keep this incredibly brief. So basically, this was like 90% stuff that we'd already seen at the Microsoft One. So yeah, Kingdom Hearts, literally the same trailer again.
Kingdom Hearts, yeah.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I think there was like some different footage. Fine. They showed off the new Dragon Quest, but again, that's not.
Did they show any more of Captain Funkle?
Same again.
His name was?
Literally the same trailer again.
Same shit.
Couple of new things.
It was The Quiet Man,
which is weird,
which had a terrible trailer.
Yeah. So the trailer for that was like there was a little live action bit, but with some really shit dialogue. And then a man beating up some other men. That was great. Don't really know what the deal is there, but it was new, so that was fine. And then really weird trailer with loads of like sort of medieval style illustrations, and it was like it was going through this timeline of like all this shit that happened, which didn't really make any sense. Turns out it's a new fucking Platinum game called Babylon's Fall. But there was like a little bit of a fight, wasn't there? Like a CG fight. And some guy battering a giant enemy or something. But again, it was all just super vague. Nice to know it's happening, I guess. But yeah, that was pretty much it. There was no Final Fantasy VII remake, nothing on this Avengers game.
So that wasn't mentioned at all?
No mention of that. No mention of this Avengers game that they're supposed to be working on. So that's that.
It was just dull, wasn't it? It's because everything we'd already seen. Like Kingdom Hearts 3, by this stage, I was getting really wrapped up with it.
And this isn't even the last you'd see of it, James.
Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, this was... I don't know.
I thought this was a good man.
It was good, it was good, but it was just still... I don't know. Yeah. All the same
There's a lot of stuff we'd seen.
Yeah. So it opened up with this fucking mental dance number with a guy in a panda suit. So it's one of those ones that like started like outside the studio where the conference was happening, and then they sort of busted their way in onto the stage, and it was good fun. Obviously, it was for Just Dance, which is coming to the Nintendo Wii still, by the way.
Amazing.
So there's a new Just Dance game, obviously. And then Guy came out, made a joke about key rings, obviously. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, they showed like quite a bit of footage of it. Looks all right. I'm not a fan of the series.
Was that the first time we'd seen it throughout the whole of E3? I guess it was, right?
They kept
fair
that
enough.
themselves. Big revelation. You can choose to play as a male or female character. More emphasis on dialogue and dialogue choices, and actually like affecting relationships with people and stuff. It looked like there was more straight up combat rather than assassinating. But that might just be how they've chosen to show it off. I don't know.
Yeah, because even in the last one, that had more like Batman style combat.
Yeah, yeah. Whereas this
who's presenting the Ubisoft show, by the way?
Well, Yves did a lot of it, didn't he? Did it himself. Yeah. He's very hands-on CEO. But then it was just other than that, it was like developers from specific games, sort of as and when. But yeah, I mean, it looks beautiful as well. Odyssey. To be fair, it's set in, I forget which Greek island it is, but it's on one of the Greek islands, and yeah, it looked beautiful.
Is it out this year, or are they delaying it? Taking a year off?
I think did they say next year? I think they said next year, didn't they?
No,
it was this year,
wasn't it?
I was thinking, that's wishful thinking on my part, hoping they weren't going back to churning them out again, but here we are.
No, they're back on that.
Yeah. Beyond Good and Evil 2 reappeared.
I didn't see this, but the reaction was relatively negative.
Yeah, not necessarily the game's fault. I mean, we'll skim it because if you really want to get into it, you can in your own time. So Beyond Good and Evil 2, so there was a new pre-rendered trailer, which to be fair looked stunning. More sort of slightly awkward dialogue and stuff, same as last year. With like, why are they all swearing? I don't really know why they're all swearing. But they did show a tiny bit of gameplay.
All right, Dad.
They did show a bit of gameplay, and to be fair, it looks pretty amazing. It was just literally like, here is someone on a space bike in a city flying around. But it did look really good.
So why were people negative?
People were negative because there's been a bit of controversy. So do you remember when they first showed it off? They talked about this Space Monkey program, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we want to get like the fan base to get involved and contribute to the game." And everyone's like, "I don't really understand what that means," but all right. So that came up again, and so it turns out they're doing it via this company stroke website called Hit Record, which is the brainchild of famous actor Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who then came out on stage to talk about it. Yeah, and basically, so he's working with Ubisoft to do this, and basically the idea is, this for those who don't know, this website has existed for a few years already, and it's basically for people who are working on projects, but so they can't afford to employ someone, but if they just want to outsource like specific bits of creative work, like a bit of writing or some artwork or some audio work or whatever, they can stick it up on Hit Record, and then people can contribute, and then whatever gets used gets paid for. So they're using that for some of the stuff in Beyond Good and Evil 2.
So it does get paid for then?
Well, this is where it gets complicated, because the way it works is, so literally the job goes up on Hit Record, and then like multiple people could contribute, but their stuff might not get used. So basically, people have been going apeshit, saying like, "Well, hang on, this is what they call spec work," which is basically you're doing work, but you might not get used, and you might not get paid for it. Therefore, in a sense, you're kind of working for free. Which, if you're doing it for like an indie film with a £300 budget, that's one thing. But doing it for Ubisoft is perhaps a bit less palatable. Now, initially, I was surprised how little I was bothered about this. Like, everyone was going nuts about it, and I was like, look, I do podcasts. I've been aware for a long time that all my creative work is not really, I'm not going to get paid for it. Like, that's never been an issue to me, but I understand,
Kickstarter up now. Buy your computer game show t-shirts.
Do you know what I mean? Like, to me, like, the model for me has always been like, day job actually pays for me to live, and anything beyond that is for a laugh, But I understand that if you want a certain standard of work or a certain quality of work, like you've got to pay people a salary to do these things, because otherwise it will always just be a hobby, So I get that. But yeah, and basically there's been this whole back and forth on whether or not this is okay. Because the other thing that upset people is that basically Ubisoft they've just ring-fenced $50,000 for all the Hit Record stuff. And people are like, that's not even one person's salary. And I was like, well, that works out at £37,000 a year, but all right, whatever. And it's like, well, hang on, they're not saying it's $50,000 for the, that's not the entire budget for all the artwork in the game. That's just an amount that's been ring-fenced for this community contributed stuff. So, I mean, yeah, like I say, if you're bothered, go and look into it. But there's been a whole back and forth on that. And it's a shame, because the game looked great. And this has sort of overshadowed it a bit, really. So it would be nice if they just hadn't bothered and just left it, but whatever.
Yeah, sounds strange.
Yeah. Anyway, what else? Division 2, bit more of that. It was slightly different footage, but basically nothing mind blowing, was it? That was fine.
So what is there a substantial difference between Division 1, 2, and 2? It's like there's a new city, but do they say, we're doing this, that, and the other?
It's got 8-player raids.
Okay.
And they announced there's going to be 2 expansions in the first year, and they're going to be free.
No, I thought it was 3.
Oh, was it 3? I thought they only said 2.
Yeah.
Sorry, which again feels like looking at Destiny and what are people complaining about. So
no. I think it's looking at the Division 1 and when they introduce the season pass and seeing the drop off from that.
Fair point.
Because I certainly stopped playing it once they were asking for more money.
That obviously clearly means that they do that because there is things you can purchase in game. Like that's the way they're going to recoup some money.
They didn't say that.
I think this is just getting people obsessed with it, and then they'll start pumping you for cash in year 2, possibly. I don't know. Splinter Cell came up again, but again, basically just what we'd already seen. So they showed off. Do you remember Starlink from last year? The sort of spaceship combat game, but where you have the little toy and you can take weapons off it and put them
the toys to life.
So that got another showing.
Oh shit! Yeah, James texted me and just said, Miyamoto is back.
So
they confirmed that basically you're going to be able to get the R-Wing from Star Fox and use that in the game.
What?
Yeah.
So another Nintendo Ubisoft.
This had Miyamoto on stage, like with the whole thing again.
He weren't on stage. He was sitting down in his...
He was not actually on the stage. He was
in the
sitting right next to the stage. Yeah.
Fine. I mean, I think that game still looks pretty good.
So where is that though? When's it coming?
It's early next year, isn't it? I think.
I thought it was sooner.
I thought it was really soon. Release dates, I always fucking stop paying attention. For Honor,
the most important bit.
Who cares? It's in the future, isn't it? Like, unless it's next week, doesn't even.
I live for the moment, man.
For Honor. It's getting new stuff, including a 4v4 mode where you're like breaking into like a fortress, which, to be fair, everyone's been asking for since day one. So good. Glad they're adding that. Didn't they? They're giving away like the base game on PC for like a week or something as well.
Yeah, they gave away it free on Uplay, but only for that week.
Yeah,
and now you can't get it now.
Oh man, so I've missed out. I can't believe it.
Fine. That game always had potential, and to be fair, they seem to have stuck by it and actually worked on it. So fair dues. I should go back really because it was pretty good. And they showed a load of new Skull and Bones footage. The pirate,
that game,
pirate game that's taken out the fun bit where you actually get off the boat and do stuff.
You are boat.
Yeah, I am not remotely convinced by this.
Matt, I've been drinking throughout this podcast.
You can be the boat.
You are a boat.
I couldn't give any less of a shit about this, unfortunately. Like,
come on, it looked more thrilling than Sea of Thieves.
But at least Sea of Thieves has got some colour in it and that sort of a sense of humour.
Well,
this just looked dreary and like, I don't know. That was.
Is Darren Garget jump ship? Do we know?
Is it developed by Rare? It's not
too far.
Okay, whatever. So that was Ubisoft. Ubisoft, right? It was pretty good showing, to be fair. They had a lot of good games to show.
Come on, let's go.
It's understandable why we'd seen most of this shit before the conference. So whatever, you can't really have a pop at them about that. But that was the only downside is that we've seen that shit.
Did we mention Trials Rising?
Oh, I completely missed that.
No.
Did they show it?
A new Trials game?
Yeah, there's a new Trials game. Fuck. It's called Trials Rising.
Oh, Christ, yeah. They got the guy on stage who fucking smashed through the podium and stuff, didn't he?
Yeah.
Worth watching that.
Cool. Because Trials Fusion was a bit... I don't remember that being particularly great, but...
It wasn't well received. It was not well received. Okay.
When did the PC gaming show happen? I'm trying to.
Let's skip about that. Let's
stop it was good.
I don't
know. Everyone that I've heard has said it was shit. Can I go for a piss while you talk about
go for it.
Just quick.
No, I'll be dead quick.
I'm going to do the same because I couldn't care less.
Fuck's sake.
Fine. Okay, Sean, let's go.
Okay, so they showed a game called Stormland, which is a VR game from Insomniac. Which looks really good. They only mentioned it coming to Oculus, which is a shame because I think if this was PSVR, it'd be worth checking out. It's basically like a first-person. I think there was shooting, but it's basically a first-person adventure game. But where like you're this robot, and basically when you get damaged, like bits of you fall off, and you have to like actually reach down, pick them up, and like attach them back onto yourself. It looked really good. I did a bit. Sega announced they're bringing loads of games to the PC: Shenmue 1 and 2, Yakuza 0, and Kiwami. Valkyria Chronicles 4. There was 3 Battle Royale games.
Oh, God. What, as in, like, unique new IPs?
Yeah. So one called Rapture Rejects, one called Mavericks Proving Grounds, and one called Realm Royale.
Sorry, was that last one?
Realm Royale.
It really rolls off the tongue.
I mean, beyond that, I wasn't paying attention. Sable, look that up, because Sable looks fucking amazing.
Really fucked off.
The fuck is it? Does he know we can hear him? Is he being deliberately obstructive?
Hello? Are you done talking about the fucking PC gamer shit?
I've got 3 games left, mate.
Oh, breeze through them.
I will. Sable, really nice exploration game. Looks absolutely beautiful. Good soundtrack. Have a look. Jurassic World got a new trailer with Jeff Goldblum in it. Man-Eater, game where you play as a fucking shark and you go around eating people and ruining their day. Look really good.
Hasn't the Jurassic World reviews been out now?
Yeah, I thought it was a bit odd that they did another trailer for that, but hey-ho.
Oh, is it?
I thought it was a bit over yet.
It's happening now, James.
Did you go for a piss as well?
I actually did, James.
Me and you, boy. We're crossing swords.
As the one person who actually watched it, it was all right.
Okay, whatever. Good point. Sony.
Here we go.
You ready, Matt?
Talk to me.
Should we tell him like the rumours that were circulating beforehand, or are we just going to go into it?
Go into it.
No, because he kind of knows.
Well,
anyway.
Obviously beforehand they confirmed, or they said it was going to focus. That one, they were changing it to support their online viewership as well as their offline stuff at the show, and also it's going to focus on 4 games, being like Spider-Man, that
whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. We'll get to it.
Okay, so before it actually started, right, I was getting text messages from Sam White, who was there. And he was like, mate, this is fucking barbaric. We've all been like shoved into this room. There's not enough seats. Loads of us are just standing at the back. And no one knows what's going on.
Matt, did they leak in beforehand that it was in a tent?
No. I mean, nothing about location.
It was in a tent.
Isn't it?
It was in a
Okay.
It was in a tent. Everyone was standing. There were no seats. They were in a tent.
What?
Okay. Right. So this is what I've got. Right. Right. It's in a tent. The audience are standing. Sam White tweets, "Death standing."
Brilliant.
It's fucking brilliant. It's the best thing he's ever written.
I heard that banged.
Sean Layden has come out and is doing jokes. He did like an opening monologue, like he was like...
Was he wearing a suit that looked 2 sizes too big again?
Yes.
Yeah.
But he also wanted to be David Letterman at the start of the Tonight Show, where he come out and did a few gags, and it was like really sort of... It was as if they reviewed last year's show and went, look, oh my God, you were like a robot up there, loosen up a bit.
Way too corporate.
And he loosened up too much.
Didn't he look a bit like he was on coke?
No,
I thought he did. Watch it back. He's like, his teeth are like, and his eyes are like wide open. I think he looked fucking nuts. Whatever.
It looked a mess anyway. There was feedback over the mic because obviously they're in a tent. So he was talking. It was like, "Welcome to the." It's just awful. He's saying that he doesn't want to bombard us with games, obviously a dig at Microsoft, but wants to take a deeper look in a few games. Then he introduces a banjo player.
This was also legit really funny.
He's playing. Don't get me wrong, he's good. But what the actual fuck is going on? Sorry, I'm reading from my notes again if you haven't already picked it up.
It went on for quite a long time as well.
He's been playing for nearly 4 minutes. He's stopped. The crowd liked it. They cheered him, to be fair. He got a round of applause. He was a great banjo player, but 4 minutes of banjo playing at the start of the Sony conference was a bit odd. And that was just the start. Right.
So,
right. This is what was funny, because I saw this in the morning after it, because I didn't watch it. And I was like texting Dave and just saying, like, what is this banjo stuff? And then he was like, wait until you get to the bit with the banana. And then I was like, this is going to be amazing.
Sean, I know you're the hardcore one. Tell me you stayed up till 2 a.m. watching this.
Oh God, yeah.
Okay, yeah, Sean watched it in the night. Yeah, I watched it in the morning. Right, first trailer, Last of Us 2. Oh, that's cool. It opens showing the tent that the conference is setting.
Yeah.
So obviously they've created the tent that is part of this game, and that it was actually. I genuinely went, all right, okay, fair enough. That is fucking cool. Like, it looked exactly the same.
What did Sam White tweet at that point?
I'm
in the game.
I don't. He didn't. He's not EA Sports. He put. I put. Scene with a party. Audio is echoing though, so they had the audio from the tent up at the same time as the audio from the trailer. So everything was echoing. It was a total nightmare. They never got that right. They fucked that up last year as well.
I swear there's audio things last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, they completely cut out last year. They have the trailer and the crowd audio up. Audience are talking throughout, so you could just hear like the audience talking in the background. Oh, it's Ellie. And now she's gay. Well, I assume she was always gay, but she's, so it's Ellie in the game, which was pretty cool to see her again. And she has got a girlfriend or something. There was some weird thing about it being someone's ex and whatever.
Yeah, there was some drama going on, wasn't there?
There was a gay kiss at the end, and I mean,
obviously. If have we all played Left Behind? Is it Left Behind?
No, I've not played it, but it's £2 on PSN.
I should get it. That's amazing. But obviously there was connotations there. So
right, okay, fine.
Okay,
very good. There's a kiss, then it cuts to her stabbing someone in the neck. My word, this is visually stunning.
Yeah,
we're getting gameplay. Really good showing from The Last of Us 2. It looks fantastic.
Yeah,
this was amazing. Seriously, like I
that's all you can say about it, though, isn't it? I mean, graphically, it looked absolutely incredible. The themes it was touching on were spot on. The cutscenes looked absolutely gorgeous and interesting. Like, even though that was a bit, sort of high school drama stuff at the start, because Ellie and you love that character, it felt like not. Life is Strange is wrong, but because it was that sort of basic, hey, look, what's going on? Someone fancies someone and this is happening. It didn't matter. Like, it was perfectly pitched. I think that's the only way to describe it. It was perfectly pitched.
That's what I really liked about this, because, I mean, I wasn't that impressed by that other one they put out with with the hammers and everything. And what I really liked about this, as somebody who didn't play the original, is this made me feel there is more to this. Like, there's more depth and everything to this, and there is.
It feels way deeper than The Last of Us. Now, don't get me wrong, I loved that game, but this doesn't feel like a Walking Dead game. Put it that way. It feels a lot.
James, you've got it, haven't you?
I have got it. Yes, I haven't played it.
You need to play it. So good.
Yeah, you should play it. So that was that. So it was quite a lengthy trailer. It was gameplay and stuff. So it was all cool, but you can't say much about it. Then my next note says, "We're back in the tent." No, wait. Now we're in space. What?
So Last of Us 2 ended, and then those of us watching the stream then got like 5 minutes of some guys at a desk talking shit.
What? Say that. Sorry, say that again, Sean.
There was an intermission, wasn't there, after The Last of Us 2? Yeah.
But what did you say? Repeat your exact words.
What, some guys at a desk talking shit?
Then we got 5 minutes of guys at a desk. Yeah. I timed it. 15-minute interval, Matt.
It was. Jesus. It was very long.
15-minute interval. Where?
Well, sorry, we take guys at a desk. What was it, like 2 presenters talking about?
Yeah, so it was presenters,
3 presenters and a guest, I think.
Yeah, it was 2 presenters and a guest, like all of them just gushing about what they'd just seen. Yeah, and that was it, really.
I remember, like, what the fuck is going on?
In the same style as I'm not sure if you were watching like the pre.
Yeah. It was like one of those.
Same thing as that. Yeah. Okay, yeah. The pre E3 week.
And then and then it transpires. Yeah, it's because the whole audience is being moved to another venue.
Yes, totally. That's what happened. And
my god!
It says here, right? So my note sort of takes you through it. This is like a website's pre-show. They're now interviewing Sean Layden. What's going on? They're talking about The Last of Us. Sean says, right, this is a genuine... I don't know if it's a word-for-word quote, but it was something along the lines of, it's a game that's not only... No, this is a word-for-word quote, Matt, right? So he's talking about The Last of Us 2. It's a game that's not only going to make you work as a player, but it's going to make you think of it as a person. The fuck does that mean, Sean? What the fuck does that mean? So anyway, right. So he says that they're talking about God of War now. This is still the intermission. New Game Plus is coming to God of War. This intermission has been like 10 minutes long. They're now almost defending their show right now. They don't want a flashy show, so they were going, look, we don't want a flashy show, whatever. Fair enough, but we're still in an intermission. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Like you don't have to sit there justifying
Nintendo
yourself.
Direct.
It was,
God.
It was awful.
Right.
Yeah, it was
so
bad.
they want to look at into their main 4 games. The intermission continues. There's now a Call of Duty trailer. Surprise PlayStation Plus game. Oh yeah, they're dropping Black Ops 3 for Plus subscribers today.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not part of the monthly subscription.
No, there was some sort of crossover thing, and they said if you own Black Ops 3, you get extra maps in Black Ops 4. And then there was this moment where he goes, but what if I haven't got Black Ops 3? Well, we're going to give it to PS Plus subscribers for free today, right now. And it was like, okay, all right, why are we still here?
Yeah.
Why are we still watching you behind a desk? They're taking a quick look at games that have already been announced in the build-up to E3. Very short trailers, and I mean very short. And they were. It was like someone had opened Adobe Premiere, loaded up a trailer, did the first little opening bit, and then just cut in the end bit where the music sort of fades out with the fucking title up. It was, and there was about 8 of them in a row. It was just like, hey, here we go. You know when you're watching Netflix and you press the skip intro button and you just get the end of the title music? Exactly like that. Right, okay. Destiny trailer. It's still the intermission, which has now been 14 minutes long. Because I watched
this Destiny trailer, right? So I was, I think the feed fucked up or something, and I had to change to another one. And then I was like, right, and I was I was on the Database Discord channel. And I was like, yeah, mate.
What?
Yeah, got me on Discord.
Oh, mate, this is fucking horseshit. Why have you set up like a rival thing? Like,
it's
I
not
thought
a
we had
rival
you
thing,
this time.
Dave. It's different. Rising tide raises all ships. It's fine. With it's all right.
Fucking
Sean's
bullshit.
got his own brand. Go on.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. Anyway,
he doesn't need to though. He created it so he could literally just whatever. What? You're a fucking dickhead. Go on.
So anyway,
why are you not a full member? Why will you never be a full member yet still expect 25% of the t-shirt?
What do you mean?
Money?
How am I not a full member? Because I haven't done any streaming and stuff.
No, because you don't put everything you've got into TCGS. You've literally created a project so you can split your fucking attention.
So anyway,
who do you think you are? Apology next week.
So I was like, right, the stream went down, what happened? And everyone was like, oh, it was just like moody Destiny trailer for the new stuff. I was like, okay, well, I've seen, I saw the reveal of the Forsaken, the new, the year 2 stuff, so fine, whatever. Fucking find out several days later, the trailer only shows Cade 6, the only barely likeable character in the game, getting shot in the fucking face. And what?
Yeah. Who cares? Right. No one cares about Destiny anymore.
I got a Destiny question. So, I mean, I think they had that Forsaken reveal obviously a week before I went offline. But is it? Am I right in thinking that now they're still doing like the quarterly DLCs, but there's also like an annual pass as well?
Yeah, it's so basically so that Forsaken is Destiny 2's equivalent of the Taken King in that so it's going to be another whatever it is 40-50 quid. And then there's also a season pass for then the other stuff that comes later in the year.
Oh, okay, cool. When I read it, I was like, okay, so I thought the quarterly DLCs were like essentially like the season pass, but now there's like a season pass on top of that.
Yeah, there always has been. Yeah. The same as that's what they did with Taken King as well.
But the season pass, that season pass basically obviously this includes the DLCs as we've always known it to be. Yeah. Okay, I thought it was a whole separate tier of subscription. Okay, cool.
I see. So I was like, oh, fucking hell, that was... I mean, I don't care, but it was quite shocking, because like I say, it's the only character in the entire game that anyone even vaguely likes. So apparently he's getting killed off. Yeah. But anyway, crack on.
Back on stage, someone is playing a pipe. God, it's awful. Less enthusiasm from the crowd. He's played for a while. Like, he played for a while, and it was...
No, what do you mean playing? What do you... What,
like one of those...
musical instrument?
You know, one of those sort of pipes. You know, those ones.
No, I'm not familiar.
But is it pan pipe, is it called, Sean?
I don't think it was pan pipes, but yeah.
No, pan pipe's the one where they're all lined up, right?
Yeah. I don't know. This one was unknown woodwind instrument. We'll just go in.
And he was just... the thing was, the banjo one, I could sit back and go...
Vuvuzela?
Actually, he's a good player. This one, he could be a good player, but fuck me, did it make a racket. Like, it was just like... nothing, and the crowd just like did not get as enthusiastic for that. I mean, they had just been moved from one venue to another, but
there was a lot more. So
they didn't just like say change
the crowd this
the
time.
scene.
Yeah.
So they didn't say change like the stage dressing. They literally moved everyone to a different venue.
Yeah, they moved someone to like a traditional sort of theatre space.
Okay.
And then he played this fucking instrument, and it was all a bit weird. Okay, trailer time. Samurai game. I initially thought this was more From Software, but it's not. I didn't know that this was announced before E3, that's why.
It was announced last year, Dave.
Yeah, like a while ago. Ghost of Toshiba by Sucker Punch.
Toshiba.
So, Ghost of Toshiba.
Fucking hell, Dave.
That's what I've got written down in front of me.
Player?
That's what I've got written down in front of me, so that's all I've got.
Toshiba.
What's it called?
Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, Tsushima. Okay, that's just what I got written down.
Ghost of Hitachi.
God, it looks really good. And this is probably one of my favourite looking... Like, it looks incredible, Matt. Like, visually, absolutely the most stunning game that they showed throughout the whole of E3.
Who's developing this?
Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which is why I'm not like fully on board, because I wasn't a fan of the infamous games, but this does look good.
No, but they look good and they were passable. I just hope that they sorted the combat out, because again, one of their like, I mean, if you're comparing this to From Software games, like you're going up against one of the like leading game designers for combat that we've seen in recent years. So it better be up to scratch. But oh my god, the fight with the leaves on the floor was fucking unbelievable to look at. Unbelievable.
So was this in-game? Was it CGI?
Yeah, in-game.
It was all in-game, Matt, and it looked incredible. I mean,
it did look really good. Just really, like, I don't even know what it was. Just the lighting was just so odd and like sort of weirdly unnatural. But but also just like the movement, like from the wind that was like catching stuff, and
Well, it looked like, you know, those martial arts films that made a resurgence through Crouching Tiger and House of the Flying Daggers and stuff. It looked straight out of one of those where the lighting was weird. It was all like one palette colour, you know, in certain areas. Like, you know, when like in Flying Daggers where it just goes green for a big section. Like, it felt like that, where it could just fuck with colour enough to make it look so unique that, visually just unbelievable. It's this and the Don't Nod game that's really excited me from E3.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pumped for this now. Pumped.
So that was a big ass trailer, basically.
It was quite a
long time. But it was. I was glued.
Every second of it was good.
Yeah.
Right. Now there's a banana playing a guitar. Then it cuts to a trailer. What the fuck was that? It had nothing to do with the game. Just briefly cut to a banana playing a guitar.
So there were these little bits between bits, which were basically, it was dreams. The new media molecule thing. But it wasn't really made explicit. Yeah, they never really said it. But apparently afterwards, they're like, that was all made in dreams. That was supposed to be the clever thing.
No one got that.
No.
It was just, I watched it, I was like, what?
Because throughout the whole of the conference, they just showed little clips from Dreams, but not that much.
Yeah. But it wasn't even a clip. It was a banana on stage playing a guitar, and then it moved on to the next thing.
Yeah. That's the sort of thing you can do in Dreams, I guess.
New trailer, shape-shifting building. Looks interesting. Physics-based action game briefly cuts back to an empty stage, then back to the trailer. Oh yeah, they fucked up a bit. Like they suddenly cut, because I think they thought the trailer was over, so they cut to the stage, but they realised that they hadn't actually shown the title or the developer of the game, and then cut back to the trailer. Control by Remedy. This looks really good.
This is R7 or whatever. It's been. They said it was going to be there.
It looks good.
Yeah, it looks really interesting.
It looks good. See,
Control. Okay, so tell me what was it like?
It looked like Half-Life 3 on acid. Like, it was all physics-based stuff.
You had me at Half-Life 3 on acid.
Yeah, no, you know what I mean? It's like
it looked like Quantum Break and Max Payne.
See, I never played Quantum Break, so I haven't got no touchstone there. But there's a lot of physics-based lifting things up and moving it around. But the whole building is sort of like blocks from it are constantly just moving all over the place. It looked brilliant. Like, it really did. I like that. I was very impressed by it. Like, it looked so interesting. There's so much going on screen at once. Everything felt like you could control it, or it was either you're controlling it or it's reacting to things you're doing. And a lot of slow-mo. It's Remedy. There's a lot of bullet time in there. Looks good. Interesting. Female protagonist.
And is it all realistic, and potentially using real actors, a bit like what Quantum Break did?
No. Stylized. They've completely dropped they had the developer on Giant Bomb this week, and there's no real-time action shit attached to it. It's not a TV show. She even said, look, we heard the feedback, and we're trying something different now.
Exciting, yeah. Yeah. And do we know, is that actually multi-platform, but it's only had the trailer?
No idea.
See, I was surprised at this, because I thought all Remedy's stuff had mostly been on Xbox, but, because Quantum Break, that was like an Xbox exclusive, so I thought it was quite big that they got this.
Yeah, I guess, but they can do what they want, can't they? Then they're not owned by anyone, so...
I wouldn't be surprised if they got burnt, especially after, I imagine Microsoft obviously said this could be a TV series and stuff got cancelled, and I wouldn't be surprised if they want to jump ship or do stuff as multi-platform.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Another trailer. Resident Evil 2 remake.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right.
People are absolutely buzzing for this. I mean, I'm not a fan, but yeah, everyone's going nuts over it.
Yeah, people are going nuts.
How good does it look? I love Resident Evil 2.
It looked very, very good. Yeah.
Okay, that's Resident Evil 2. People are going to get pissed off that we're moving on, but it's getting late, and also none of us really give a shit. So, no, I know that sounds bad. I know what you mean. We just happen to be people that are not massive Resident Evil fans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No diss on the game. I'm sure people will love it. Back on stage, what looks like a hologram, man on a chair. I think it was a zombie, wasn't it? Plays a single note on a trumpet. Then we move on. Okay. That was another one of those little clips.
Stuff from dreams.
Yeah.
New trailer. Trover saves the universe.
Yeah.
Is this a Rick and Morty thing?
Well, it's from the creator of. Yeah, I just did nothing for me. But then I'm not a Rick and Morty fan either. So
I mean, it looks alright. It looked funny, but I mean, there were bits where I was going, that's funny," but not actually laughing. So yeah, I don't know about this. It was basically some weird looking dude in a bath shouting.
Yeah,
"This is my new game. Yeah, Trover saves the universe. Okay. Now go back," or I don't know. It's one of those things where you either love or hate.
I suppose if you're into Rick and Morty, you're probably creaming your pants. But
I mean, and obviously it's 3 a.m. by this point, so you're just like, come on,
that's half fun, though, isn't it, Sean? It's like, have I actually seen this? Is this amazing, or am I just tired?
It's all right, because what they had after that was got me excited.
New trailer, Kingdom Hearts again. What?
Yeah,
it's a bunch of Kingdom Heart games.
Yeah. Tell me more. No,
they're selling loads of Kingdom Heart games for $60, Matt.
Yeah.
Is this when they showed the Pirates of the Caribbean bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was new, wasn't it, James? You were excited
This
about that?
was the point, honestly, Sean, this was the point where I was beginning to actively hate the series. Because I'd seen this trailer so many times, and I'd seen... I didn't care. Didn't care.
Yeah. Whatever. Now back to some celery screaming. Death Stranding now.
Oh, yes.
Here we fucking go.
Yeah,
gameplay footage. A lot of walking around incredible environments. I'm still none the wiser as to what this game is about. No date given. That's the end of my notes.
So there was
people have been joking that it's UPS the game.
Yeah.
Because all we saw was someone walking along with was Norman Reedus or whatever his name is with this the baby on his belly just walking.
Well, there was other people, wasn't there? There was like all different people with all these like massive cases with all this gear on it, and it just seemed to be that for whatever reason they all just had to like go out hiking with all this
stuff,
and presumably deliver it or like set the gear up somewhere. I don't know, wasn't really clear.
So was this like another sort of cryptic story? Narrative focused trailer like the previous one.
I mean, no, there's actual gameplay, and this is the least cryptic it's been. More, but it's
it did nothing for anyone, I don't think. No. I think they were hoping that people were going to be talking about this quite a bit afterwards, but they weren't. Like, it was kind of like, we saw a bit more Death Stranding, what the fuck is that game about? Again. Like, but not in a playful, how wacky was that trailer? More of a, why are we just watching people walk about?
I'm actually starting to get annoyed by this point.
Well, because
not annoyed, but it was just like, they didn't show us anything. They showed us gameplay without showing anything. You know what I mean? It was like,
well, because the bit of like actual gameplay they showed was like Norman Reedus basically just walking across a landscape, and occasionally like a ghost being near, and him having to sort of move away from it.
That was it.
There was nothing like particularly sort of like intriguing about the whole thing that would like get you talking. It was just not very great.
Yeah. My next note says Neo 2 trailer, full stop. That is it.
That's all I've got in mind as well.
So was that Neo 2?
Neo. NIOH.
Oh, yeah, I've got. Yeah, okay, right.
Which is,
okay.
I don't know if you saw this, but like when Sekiro, the trailer for that, Shadows Die Twice came out, everyone was like, "Oh, fuck Neo! Like, who cares about Neo anymore?" It's like, hang on. Neo was good. I didn't. I had no time for it.
Yeah, people liked it. No, I saw a different side of it, actually. I saw people being way excited for it.
Okay, good.
I was like, okay.
Yeah. No, it seems to be a bit of like, fucking, From Software here to show Neo how it's done. It's like,
are you telling me, Sean, that people were being snarky on the internet?
They were. It was really shocking.
Motherfuckers.
I have not missed that one bit.
My favourite bit of that was people being snarky about people being snarky. Because that happened.
You get that on. It's great.
Now on to Spider-Man. It's just a really long trailer about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I didn't like this.
I thought it looked a bit boring.
My next note says, "Oh wait, that's it. Just a run through of the games they've shown. That's the show. People seem to be waiting for more. Nope. What a weird way to end. What the fuck?"
So that's it.
So again, I literally got a text from Sam White. He's like, "Has the stream ended? Because we're all just standing here like, what's going on?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's done."
How?
Like literally. So they showed the Spider-Man trailer. It was a bit of gameplay, and he was going through. There's like a prison break going on. And he's battering people and cracking wise like he does. And then basically there was like a fucking cutscene at the end where Spider-Man just gets battered by a load of villains. And then it just turned off.
Well, they went back to space. They went back to that intermission table, and it was kind of like, but then that slowly faded away on my screen. Anyway, on my stream, that slowly faded away, and then the game stop after show faded up, and they were like, it was almost like they cut to them completely unprepared.
Yeah,
like they were like,
but
okay. Was the Sony conference?
So I was watching the official stream, which just sort of again showed the space bit, and then it cut back to the sort of intermission stroke pre-show table.
Yeah,
where they were like, "Oh, by the way, here's a new From Software game, and it's VR."
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they're just like, "Oh, we've got another game to announce." So the trailer didn't give much away. It's called Deracine. Which I don't know. Maybe I presume that's a name. I don't know. But basically, the trailer
means
was just
motion sickness in Japanese,
possibly.
Sean, even I think this is bullshit.
No, this is real, mate. And the trailer was just. It wasn't very From Software. It was just basically sort of panning around like an old house with like photographs in it and stuff, and it wasn't really clear what it was. But I'm intrigued.
Okay, so Matt, before I explain, let's just do this. What do you think? And then I will give my assessment of Sony versus Microsoft.
I mean, that Last of Us sounded amazing, as did that Sucker Punch game, but that sounds like a pretty random and not terribly exciting or good conference to me from what you guys have said.
You see, you say that.
Right. So hold on. Hold on. So this is my analysis of Microsoft versus Sony this year, because Nintendo do their own thing. It's sort of become Microsoft versus Sony recently, and we'll get to Nintendo in a bit. I initially come away from this thinking Sony have completely fucked it. This is embarrassing. After seeing the show the night before, Microsoft absolutely ripping shit apart, like just chucking everything at you. It is incredible. When you sit back and think about it, like properly try and analyze it, the feeling that I get, like come away from it, is that Microsoft had a better show, Sony had a better showing. Like everything Sony showed looked brilliant.
Yeah.
Right? They really nailed the trailers. They really nailed, like, it looked great. You come away from Microsoft saying, yeah, that was brilliant, but what's so special about Microsoft? And more importantly, Microsoft's, like, feather in the cap at the moment is that they have the most powerful console on the market. If you'd have seen both games that they had to show, you wouldn't believe that. Like, Sony's games looked better than Microsoft's games.
There was really nothing that, like the Xbox stuff, that looked as good as the stuff at the Sony.
No, God no. And although I would say Microsoft won it technically, as an E3 show, they were much better than Sony. When you come away from it and the whole E3 buzz dies down, you start to focus on what games am I looking forward to playing, and Sony come out the better out of the two. Their show was shit. Sony's show was fucking shit. It was embarrassing.
It doesn't sound great.
The 15-minute intermission was a fucking joke. The little clips that they put in beforehand made no sense. There was no announcements. There was no discussion about the hardware. There was no discussion about what they want to offer PlayStation owners. There was no PSVR during that, the main pusher show. It was shit.
Yeah, it was.
But The Last of Us looked incredible. The new Sucker Punch game looks incredible. And alright, Death Stranding was a bit fucking weird, but fine. They had, in terms of exclusives, Sony are clearly miles ahead of Microsoft at the moment. And that showed. That shone through. So, although if you were to ask me who won E3 out of Sony or Microsoft, I would have to say Microsoft because they had a better show. But coming away from it, if you turn around and said, I think Sony won it because the games look better on Sony's machine, I've got no reply to that, and you're absolutely right. And if you use your head, like it's like when we talk about new consoles or whatever, and we're focusing on what they look like, it's not important, right? Okay, the Xbox One X looks incredible, but it's not important. It's what's in the box that matters. That's the feeling I get from Sony. Like, Microsoft's show looked incredible, and it was intense, and there was game after game. But that doesn't matter. When you're looking at the consoles themselves, why would I own an Xbox over a PlayStation when the stuff that Microsoft was showing I can play on a PlayStation, and the stuff that Sony was showing I can't play on a Xbox? Like, so and that when you use your head, Sony's showing was better. Their show was just dog shit. You know what I mean?
This is why, I had exactly that same feeling. I just thought there's a load of really good games that they've just shown me here, like 4 really good games. And I'm also going to get to play all those ones I saw at the Xbox conference as well, like on PlayStation. And so you just think, yeah, they had good content, like really good content.
And I understand
the presentation was dreadful.
Yeah, like I understand what Sony were trying to do. It was like they were trying to go for a sort of secret cinema vibe, where it's like, oh yeah, the venue's all done up like the game, innit? But it didn't work at all, and the practical, issues that arose.
It would have worked if it was like a 2-minute cut back to desks where they said this game's coming out, this game's coming out, this game's coming out. Then they go to the next venue and it looks like a game.
Yeah,
the thing is,
that would have worked. Instead, it was 15 minutes, and it was like they were trying to fill time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It was awful.
But it's because now, like, Sony are in a position which is like so far ahead of like Microsoft that they can just do what they like now, can't they? Really, you know, at things like this, and they can just experiment.
Yeah,
and
but
do
we all know what
feel.
that's like. We all know what that's like. Eventually, that'll fade away. This industry is fickle, and
not if they keep on hitting these exclusives and stuff, though, because that's what they didn't have.
You're right.
You know?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right, because E3's 1 week, and after that, when the dust settles, you're looking at what games they've got to show, and they've got the better games. There's no doubt about that. But I mean, it's just weird. Weird show.
And like, what's really gutting is that, yeah, like it was a bad show, but it's not like memorable. It's, you know, it's not like a, you know, giant enemy crab or Ravi drums or whatever. It's not going to go down in history. It's like, oh, do you fucking remember this? Like, it's just not. It wasn't. That,
I don't know,
bad,
man.
But it wasn't that interesting in how bad it was.
I guarantee in a few years' time we'll be saying, "Do you remember when Sony made us just wait for 15 minutes? Like, what the fuck was that about?"
It seems like that they've got fewer. I mean, obviously they show fewer games than Microsoft, but the ones they've got are just such big hitters. And yeah,
but again, they showed fewer games because they didn't just spend the whole time showing third-party stuff, which, you know, so
they just focused on what makes it worth getting a PlayStation.
What makes it unique.
So Nintendo, then.
Right, go on.
What?
Oh no.
Okay.
Can I give my impression first before we even talk about it?
Is that a good idea?
Let's not do that. Also, Matt, I'm going to try and make this feel. I'm just going to try and simulate the experience for you.
Don't do that.
Here we go.
What has happened?
I can't say, can I?
No.
I had a banger there.
You've not called us out on bullshit much during this podcast yet, Matt. And
that's the thing, right? I've got right. So even last year, and certainly in the last few months, and ever since it was known that I would have to miss this year's E3, I said, "Well, there's no chance you guys are going to get one over me." Like, I'm very sure I'll be able to understand the bullshit if you guys spew out a game like, you know, Gears of War Funko Pops. I'm like, okay, let's clear, you know. I'm like, well, who the fuck do you think I am? I mean, I'll clear it's bullshit. But this show, I'm like, actually, it's hard to determine which are real, because most of them seem
get your bullshit button ready, because I think, okay, whatever.
I'm ready. I'm very much ready with the bullshit buzzer.
Straight in with a trailer. Heavy rock music. Stylized mech game, reminds me of Virtua On. Demon. What's that now? How do you pronounce this, Sean?
Is it Demon? Yeah.
Ex Machina.
Yeah. So,
right.
Oh, go on.
This looked good. I ain't gonna lie, this looked good. It looked like Virtua On, very stylized, very sort of not cell shaded, but almost. It's just a mech game, but like you look way more in control of your mech than you. Yeah, it just looks good.
So are we talking about a Sean Bell game? Combat, multiplayer?
So basically, from what we've seen, like, it is basically an Armored Core game. Like, loads of the team working on it are all ex From Software staff, and it's all producers and designers and stuff that worked on Armored Core over the years. So I am fucking buzzing about this.
But I tell you what, this was a significant trailer, Sean, and do you know why?
Right.
It said it's coming 2019.
So
and the reason being that Nintendo had already broken what they said about their only showing stuff coming 2018.
Oh yeah, shit.
Yeah.
About that.
So I instantly went, sit tight. That's a statement. That is a statement. First game they showed, straight into a trailer, coming 2019. It's not just 2018 games.
So what were they all bluffing us? Like, why would they do that?
I don't know.
No, yeah, but they always do it. They did it the year before.
I think that's
yeah. They always do it. So I was interested.
Okay.
Straight onto another trailer. Some anime shit. Zero interest in this. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I thought this was already out.
It is. It's just DLC for it, yeah.
Oh, it's DLC. Right, fine.
Yeah, because that's a game I predicted last year when it had already been announced the year
before. Reggie is here. Here's Reggie. Talking about how everyone is loving their Switch. Where's it going to take you? Is it going to take you on to the next Pokemon adventure? He did it better than that, but it's a basic idea.
Did he say Pokemon or Pokemon?
Oh, he said Pokemon.
Pokemon. Whatever. Pokemon Plus. What does that mean? That's some little ball thing that you carry around with you.
He just did the whole thing that we'd already seen about a week before.
Yeah.
Just the whole reveal Plus. Again, basically. Yeah. And that was it.
Out November 16th alongside the game. I'm not even sure what it does, really. Have you heard the reports from this? Apparently, it is way more stripped down than we're led to believe.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, because it's not. Apparently, the real Pokemon kind of game is coming next year.
Yeah,
probably.
Right. So last week or last episode, I said, "Is this even a real Pokemon game?"
Big time. Yeah,
it isn't a real Pokemon game. Okay,
apparently not.
Well, it is, but not a real Pokemon.
No, he's still defending himself.
And what's this about one coming next year? Is that
that's the real one? Apparently.
He didn't say it.
He didn't. Yeah, it wasn't mentioned.
This is all James probably stuff again.
Okay.
Next trailer. God, this does not look like my sort of thing. More anime than that. Fire Emblem tree houses.
Yeah, it's like tree houses.
3 houses.
3 houses, Dave.
Oh, is that what I said? Look, I told you I've not read the fucking. But I've not read these notes since writing them down, and I typo. I remember thinking at the time after writing it, that is an awful name. Right.
I didn't see any tree houses in that trailer. What the fuck are they?
Either way, it's Fire Emblem and it looks good, obviously, because Fire Emblem games are brilliant.
That was the thing. Again, I predicted it, but you're like, no, they've already confirmed one is coming this year. So is it this year?
Spring 2019.
Yeah, so it's been delayed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's a proper Fire Emblem game on Switch.
Delayed to next year.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Straight onto another trailer, Matt. Viva Pinata? Oh no, they're jumping out of a bus. It's Fortnite. Out now.
Oh.
I mean, we kind of knew this, but that's
cool.
Well, it wasn't out now, was it? It was out today.
Later that day.
But I played a bit of it. It runs really well.
Yeah,
it's free.
Really
it's
impressive.
on Switch.
The only snag, and we're not going to get into this because it's a fucking mess, but basically, if your Fortnite account, or whatever it is, your Epic account.
God, yeah, this really kicked off, Matt.
If you've played on the PS4 version of Fortnite with it, you cannot log into the Switch version with it.
Yeah, I've heard. There's been loads of issues with this sort of thing before.
Whoa, what did you just say? You've heard, have you? You've already heard.
No, basically, with the whole linking of accounts thing, I've got 2 Epic accounts because I've heard the link accounts thing fucks people over if you link to either PlayStation and play the game on it versus if you play on Xbox. And anyway,
it's been interesting though because obviously if you got PlayStation and Xbox, you probably just pick one to play Fortnite. But obviously everyone's like, well, I've played it on the PS4 and now I want to play it on the Switch. It makes sense for people to want both, and it's just
also. Microsoft have been making the thing out of this. They've been tweeting at Nintendo saying, "Oh, do you want to play Fortnite tonight?"
I was going to ask about cross-platform.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
But also the other weird thing about this,
I've missed stuff.
Yeah, the other big thing though with this is that Fortnite includes voice chat, but with just plugging in headphones into the Switch.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
What?
You can talk through you don't need the app.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Okay.
Brilliant.
Also, I missed a game out because
Super Mario Party.
Yeah, Super Mario Party. There's a new party game coming out.
Mario Party game.
Now,
it does look like a lot of fun.
Yeah, because these have been bad for a long time, right?
They have, but the most interesting thing they showed was that you can play where you link switches together.
Yeah.
But your screen knows where the other screen is. So the example they gave.
Did you see how they do it?
Oh no! What?
It's fucking clever, man. So the example they showed, it was what was it? It was like a top-down game where there was tanks driving around shooting each other or something.
Yeah, that's right.
And basically, so what they showed, Matt, was 2 switches laid flat on a table, and basically they could just rearrange them and then put them together, and then that's
creates the level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What they actually do, if you look really closely in the trailer, so basically someone just gets their finger and just swipes from one switch to another.
Yeah.
So that's basically telling the Switch right. So this point on this switch
where it is,
links to this point on this switch. And it's oh yeah, fuck, that's genius.
I love to shit like that, and I'm not a Mario Party game, but I've got a little boy, and he'll be interested in it. So I mean, it looks alright. It looked good.
Yeah.
But it won't be for everyone, but it looks alright to me. So I was up for that.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Right. Okay. Moving on. Reggie is back. He's saying he can't wait to play Fortnite, like he hasn't already because of Drake. So I put it down. Okay, fine. Okay, I'm making myself laugh in the past. Indie games now. Overcooked 2 Looks like that leak was real.
Yep.
You know that screenshot?
It looks like they've sorted the frame rate out this time as well.
Yes. Am I mad in thinking this doesn't really need a sequel, is what I've written down. It's coming August 7th.
I know what you mean. And especially now there's like loads of other games like Bomber Crew and that amazing space one we played. So it's similar, so similar thing but different settings. So it's a bit like, well, what do I need Overcooked 2? Maybe not. But
Killer Queen Black looks like Towerfall. Now this is, I mean, it's an
Another
existing
leak.
game, isn't it?
So basically, that leak was legit, is what we figured out by this point.
Hollow Knight now, I must say, I know nothing about this, but it looks really nice.
Yeah, it's meant to be a proper good
There's another one
Metroidvania.
It's available now on the eShop.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah. Fair play.
In that voice.
Also cheap, $10.99.
Yeah, because it includes like all the DLC or something, doesn't it, as well?
What sort of game is Hollow Knight? Again, I've heard of it.
It's a Metroidvania, yes. 2D platformer exploring. Yeah, but apparently it's amazing. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I've bought it, but I've not played it yet.
Metroidvania.
Okay.
Talking about Treehouse Live after the show, focusing on Splatoon 2 and Smash Brothers. Octopath Traveler.
I was going to say, so they announced that the Splatoon 2 expansion, the Octo stuff, that they're like, that's out like tomorrow now. It was supposed to be July, but they've just.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I didn't clock either because I was just like, people are playing it. I guess it's out, and then apparently it was brought forward.
So just to clarify, this new DLC, this is the stuff that someone was teasing ages ago, saying that is like a huge new Splatoon thing. It's DLC.
This is the new, it's a new single. So there's a load of new stuff for everyone, but then if you pay up, there's like a whole new single player campaign, basically.
Cool.
Octopath Traveler out July 14th.
And there's a
much about the game.
Demo for it. So this is.
It was already out. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a demo.
A new demo. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, fine. Good.
More games now. A very quick montage of games. Nothing is sticking out. Things like Sushi Striker and Minecraft.
Yeah, what was
These
Minecraft
are just games we knew were coming out. I don't know.
No, it's
an expansion, right?
Yeah, it's because Xbox had like a new version of it, and
right.
PC. It's that like the Switch is getting that as well.
Okay, no, because it just said Minecraft, and I was like, yeah,
it did. Yeah, it was weird.
There was a couple of bits
like Captain Toad.
It was games that were coming out like this year. It was just running through those.
There was a couple of good bits. Apparently the Switch is getting Ark, Survival Evolved. I didn't know that was happening. Was that?
Oh, yeah, I was aware of that.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the way they treated it, I assumed it was common knowledge, but no, I had no idea. So that was cool. Captain Toad's out 13th of July. Probably going to buy that again.
Definitely
really good. It's great.
And they confirmed that Dragon Ball Fighters is definitely coming to the Switch as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, and now this is where I got very, very excited. Now to Takahashi in Japan. Okay, here we go. He's excited to show us what they're working on, just a small portion of it. So they went over to Japan and he said,
they lied.
We're very excited to show you what we're currently working on. And then he said, this is just a small portion of what we're working on at the moment, but like this was it. I'll just read you the next bit. Everyone be quiet. This is what my notes say. Smash Brothers time. They're taking us through every character that's in the game one by one. Snake. We're all here. There are lots of characters, so this is taking a while. Every character that's ever been in Smash Brothers is in the new one. They're still talking about Smash Brothers. This time they're taking us through every character moveset. This is taking way too long. It's already been over 10 minutes. Now on to different levels in the game. What the actual fuck is going on? 20 minutes of this. They've revealed a new character, but I'm panicking that this is it. Nothing else to show. Comes out December 7th. Oh my fucking god, that's it. They spent 25 minutes talking about Smash Brothers and then ended it. Fuck.
This is... Now, what happened here, right?
Sorry.
No, hang on. Okay. What happened here is what he said is true. It was 25 minutes of Smash Brothers, right? And you see, David saw this like after me and Sean did, and we were sitting there, and I was like sending him messages, and I was like, wouldn't it be really funny if they don't show anything else and then just show Smash Brothers and then just say that's the end of the show? And then after like about 15 minutes of this, it became like apparent that is exactly what they were going to do, and they went like we were like they're going to go through every character, and they actually did, and it was amazing.
And to be clear, right? So people,
wouldn't it be funny if they did that? No, James.
It would not be funny if they did that, and they actually did do it, and it was the worst thing ever.
And it was people on Twitter, right? You've met them, you know what they're like. They were like, oh, like Nintendo said it was going to be Smash Brothers focused, so it really shouldn't have surprised anyone. And and people saying like, yeah, but Smash Brothers is huge, so it makes sense for them to focus on it. Like, yeah, they've done this before. But it was interesting, and it was like, look at the new modes we've added, and look at the interesting stuff. This was a fucking patch notes, like it was. 25 minutes of it. Yeah. It was fucking excruciating to watch.
They went through every character, Matt, and then they went through most of the characters, explaining how different the moves were to last time. Like, do you know what? The people on Twitter that were saying, what's everyone moaning about? This is brilliant. I love Smash. I'm so happy that I'm learning all this about Smash. Do you know what, mate? I'm fucking happy for you. You know what I mean? If you love Smash, I like Smash. You know, if you're into it, I'm happy for you. But you've got to understand that there are not just Smash Brothers fans watching this. You've got to get that through your head, that this is not a Smash Brothers conference. This is a Nintendo fucking Direct. This is insane. Insane. When they went, okay, there are all the characters. Now here are all the movesets. Then got to that bit and then went, now let's go through the levels. No!
But no, the worst bit is when it had been going on for about, I don't know, 24 minutes or so, and then it looked like it had finished, and then it said, there's more. And then they revealed like how you can use a GameCube controller with it, and started like doing all that, and we were just like, yeah that's what it was. It was awful. It was honestly one of the worst E3 conferences I think I've ever seen Nintendo do.
Yeah, it was up there with one of the
it was
certainly
worse.
The worst from Nintendo in a long time.
It was worse than like the Wii U ones that they did. You know, when they had no games at all, and it was worse than that because this. I was angry. Not angry.
It was everything we'd seen before, plus a game that admittedly, has a lot of fans and is exciting, but spending 25 minutes on it, it was like a Yoshi, like Yoshi's massive dick slapped across your face. That's what it felt like. It was horrific, Matt.
You see, and people can say like, entitled gamers and all that kind of thing. I don't give a fuck about that. I just wanted to see something new, and I don't see why.
It would be better if it had just ended before the Smash bit.
Yeah, and they'd just done. They could have done like a separate direct for that.
Yeah. They said, come back tomorrow. It would be half an hour on Smash Brothers if that's what you're into.
Well, that's what I said. Right, when they went over to Japan, and he was saying, "We just want to show you, what we're currently working on." Yeah. I was expecting other games. Like, it can't just be this, because he was talking about like how he wants to give us a glimpse of what they're currently working on. And not only that, right? There's this new Yoshi game that they announced last year. We didn't see any of that. Yeah. There was this sorry?
It's now been delayed to next year. Yeah.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, it has, yeah.
There was, Metroid, we didn't hear a word about. Mm-hmm. We didn't, like, there's stuff we know they're working on that they flat out ignored for 25 minutes of Smash Brothers, man. Like, what the fuck?
There was nothing new. Like, there was absolutely nothing new at all.
Well, no, hold on. You did this last year. You had that party game, like Mario Party.
Oh, come on. That doesn't count.
Demon X Machina, mate.
Well, it does, though, does
Demon X Machina. Game of the show.
Do you know what, though? Do you know what was really funny, Matt? The least predicted, you could predict this from a mile off. If you'd have mentioned this last week, we'd have said, Matt, that's not even close to a real prediction. Sean was more positive about this than he was the Xbox one.
Well, hang on. No, that's not true.
That is ridiculous.
That's complete bollocks.
What was the first thing you said to me after the Xbox thing?
I don't remember, Dave.
How many exclusives?
No, I just said
Xbox,
it was a really good show, but yeah, like no reason for me to buy an Xbox.
The first thing you said to me was, "Well, that confirms that I don't need an Xbox again."
Yeah.
What was the thing that you said after the Nintendo one? That mech game made up for the Smash Brothers stuff.
No, that's you're paraphrasing, and that's not the first thing I said. Why are you just making stuff up, Dave? This is really weird.
It's because this is what you did, Sean.
This is what David does, and then he just.
This is what you did, Sean.
No, I was very vocally hating the Nintendo one, and then just said afterwards, like, "Oh well, yeah, Demon X Machina and I forget what something else made up for it."
Here's the only excuse for that, then, right? Here's the only way that I can justify that. Maybe you were very negative when you were chatting to James about it when it was happening, right. But I only saw the aftermath bit after I'd watched it a couple of hours later, and there was almost like zero negativity and just. Wow,
that tweet where I said that Demon X Machina looked good afterwards started with the Smash Brothers bit was a total piss take.
And then you said that mech game.
No, I didn't say it. Dave, if you're actually going to try and quote me, do you want to do it properly?
Go on then. What do you say?
I'm not fucking looking up the tweet because I don't care. But if you're going to do it, do it right.
I'll look up. You're
the one who's burden of the proof's on the accuser, Dave. Go for it.
Okay, well, so what do you think of the Nintendo thing, Matt?
I mean, I was just sat back there with my mouth open wide. Can you go through the list of games again?
I don't want to.
For everything?
No.
Well, no, just on Nintendo. So there's like
Nintendo.
Thing,
so I've got
new.
Demon X Machina, Super Mario Party, Xenoblade Chronicles DLC, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Splatoon 2 expansion, Killer Queen Black, Fortnite, Overcooked 2, New Octopath Traveler demo, Hollow Knight. And then there's that whole bit where they just showed a load of stuff in one go. So it was Arena of Valor, Mario and Rabbids DLC, Dragon Ball Fighters, Captain Toad, a game called Ninjala, Carcassonne. For some reason, the Switch is getting a version of Carcassonne. Probably buy it. Ark Survival Evolved, Wasteland 2, Paladins, Fallout Shelter, Wolfenstein 2, The World Ends With You, and then Smash Brothers.
Right, okay. So here's the tweet. Anyway, the Smash Bros stuff was a total piss take, but Demon X Machina and Hollow Knight are making up for it.
Yeah.
I'll give Fortnite another go and all.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Making up for it. Is it really? But James, would you say it's making up for it? That mech game and the
yeah,
Hollow
but Dave,
Knight?
What did I reply to you when you came back to me saying, I don't know, whatever it was you said? I just explained that,
Demon X Machina did not make up for it.
Demon X Machina
is the closest I'm getting to an Armored Core.
Yeah.
Which I wanted literally years. Yeah, but come on. It was fucking embarrassing.
No, and I said that. Why are you trying to create an argument out of this?
Because you're scum.
Do you want to do another apology next week, Dave? Is that what you're angling for?
Oh, I don't give a shit about you. I don't give a shit about you. Right, okay.
See, there was so much questions from this as well. Like, what happened to that Star Fox game that everyone was going on about?
Oh, yeah, that didn't show up. There was no F-Zero. There was no Animal Crossing.
I cannot believe there was no Mario Odyssey DLC. Like, it's mad.
I can't believe they didn't even go for some easy Switch, like Wii U ports or whatever. There was just nothing at all.
No.
And I mean, the share price has gone down after this, which is funny.
No, have you also read the share prices for Sony have gone down after the Fortnite thing?
Well, Sony's went down after the Fortnite thing, didn't they? Yeah.
That's exactly what I just said.
I know, but you cut out, so I didn't hear it.
Oh, right, sorry. Okay. So
I mean, that sounds
that's E3. Bad. That's E3.
Matt, I was really proper bummed out after watching that. I was and again, it's all that like, oh, you're entitled and all that kind of thing. I just wanted to see something nice, like something new, and there wasn't anything.
So the big new game this year is Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that it?
Yeah. Yep.
And it's like, I get it, people say, yeah, but Nintendo's doing its own thing. Like, well, fine, don't do an E3 Direct then.
No, don't bother.
Just leave it.
Well, at least just make it clear that we're just going to talk about Smash Brothers now.
Well, they did, but I don't think anyone believed it.
Leave me sitting there for 25 minutes.
I don't think they believed that anyone was going to go in. They were going to go into such depth for like 25 minutes about it.
Yeah.
It was the thing.
Yeah. So Matt, that was the E3 that you missed. There's been a lot of people that have said Matt picked a good year to miss it.
Yeah.
And I understand that point of view, but I genuinely think this is an important E3. And I think it's an important E3 because we're now seeing things done differently. Like, it was hinted at for the past 2 years, but now it's clear that Microsoft are quite clearly trying to cling on to the tradition of E3. Sony want to use it to really show off what they can do, and that's cool. I still think the way they presented it needs a fuck ton of work. But I understand what they're aiming for. I also understand what Microsoft
I think they can do that
for.
because of the positions they're in. Like Microsoft, I admit, if they had 4 incredible games and they focus on that, maybe it'd be different. But they just need to show games because people say there's no games on Xbox.
Yeah, you're probably
Sony
right. Sony
can do whatever they could. Honestly, they could probably focus on one game, and people think, well, you can do what you want because you're like miles ahead and you've got these studios. So it's about with their positions in the marketplace rather than where they're necessarily going to take it.
I mean, I just felt that it was Sony and Nintendo. Like, you kind of get the impression that they don't feel that they need E3, really.
No. Sony paid a lot of money for their conference this year. I wouldn't agree with that. I just think they're trying to find their feet with E3 now. They're trying to take it into a new direction, and they need to work out how to present that properly because they've failed in terms of presenting it. Nintendo flat out don't give a shit about E3 anymore, and that was made clear. That was a statement. We don't give a shit about E3 anymore. That was it. You know what I mean? Like that's the message that they had. Don't get me wrong, E3 had some good moments this year. Cyberpunk looks really good. I'm really excited for the Life is Strange game. Splinter Cell looks like it's going to be fucking banging. There was some good moments, but it kind of felt like the E3 that we know and love is changing in a massive way, and next year I've got no idea what's going to happen. I've got no idea. Like, are Microsoft going to change to try and be more like Sony? Are Sony going to backtrack and try and be a little bit more like Microsoft? Are Nintendo even going to be there? I don't know. It's just
this year Microsoft aren't even in the main area. They've got their own Microsoft Theatre down the road. Like, there is a Microsoft booth, but that's just Game Pass stuff apparently.
Oh shit. It's like
that's changing.
They're all trying to figure out, like, so nowadays obviously they can stream a conference whenever they want. They don't need E3 for that.
And people will watch
exactly.
People will watch and get excited for it.
So it's like now they've got to look at it and be like, okay, the point of E3 is that it gets a lot of people and a lot of press in, like, from all over the world in one place at one time. So what's the value of that, and how do they use that? Do you know what I mean?
Well, Twitter buzz more important than the people that are in the theatre.
Well, yeah.
So, I mean, they don't need to gather everyone in one place anymore. They really don't. And focusing on getting people hyped on Twitter is one thing, and maybe doing a conference just after another major conference isn't the right way of going about it, and that's starting to come through. It's a completely different ballgame now.
If these developers and publishers and people like Microsoft and Sony like doing their own conferences, a bit like, say, like the Directs or say like an Apple conference, they can get more coverage about any of the rest of the noise that E3 normally brings. But that really is only sort of, in my mind, like preaching to the converted. And exactly as Sean says, like by making a splash at E3, you're getting more general coverage from, like, I guess, like, BBC or more standard or American channels, which you wouldn't get if there was just, here's a new Direct, because they're not going to cover that. So they need to obviously act different because they know more of the eyes of the world is on them, but they're going to make a bigger impact within the gaming community by, in my opinion, doing these more Direct style shows when they'd say, here's a conference next week, like online. I don't know. I feel like I'm surprised Sony and Microsoft haven't done more Direct style conferences, like hit on online, randomly, just to announce a new game or something. I
agree. We don't see enough of that shit. But listen, it's getting late. Before we go to the final portion of the show, I just want to say, if you've listened to all of this, thank you so much. Matt, well done this year, because we had no reports of any chance of you cheating. Like, there was, unlike last year where people were saying, did you know that James logged into Discord at this time of way? There was none of that.
I mean, I literally don't have a single app on my phone. Like, I don't have a browser on my phone. So yeah, it's good.
I was in Hong Kong. I had to have a browser on my phone. How was I supposed to get around places?
Did you have to go on Reddit though, James?
Listen, it's not about
Hong Kong's not big. You can find your way around. It's fine.
I was also offline for a lot longer. But go on.
we'd also like to say we'll talk about it next week in a little bit more depth. But thanks to everyone that's backed us on Kickstarter. It's been incredible. We really appreciate it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go on to Kickstarter and search for the Computer Game Show. We're selling a couple of T-shirts. A portion of that goes towards each member of the thing, and it helps us support the show and justify what we're doing. So I suppose I'll turn it over to you, Matt. As you know, the tradition is to fuck around with the person that hasn't experienced E3, and I just want to leave you to say with what you think is not right, and what just give me your thoughts on what we've told you today.
I mean, well, I can't believe there's a Funko Pop Gears of War game, and maybe that's like such an out of there thing that it's easy to say it because it was real, and it's the other thing I'm going to jump to say it wasn't real. But there's definitely alarm bells there. Like I in my mind, I sort of refuse to believe Nintendo was this shit. But then I think, well, why would they not grab the opportunity to say, "Oh, this game was announced"? Like, surely that's better for the podcast if you kept that on the show than just avoid it. But I don't know, the Nintendo thing. I can't believe it's that bad as you say. And
I wish I could agree with you, Pat.
You're gonna have to watch it. You're going to have to watch it.
I'm going to, obviously, straight after this. I mean, it's like midnight now, but I'm obviously incredibly tempted to watch every conference now.
Obviously, Matt, don't tweet about stuff until the pod's out, eh?
No.
You can say you're back.
The last week has been so good. I obviously I will, but part of me just can't bother to install, like, Twitter,
Rubbish.
WhatsApp, Facebook. Obviously I will.
You'll do that within minutes of the show.
I will, but sort of begrudgingly, because I'm like, I can't be asked for notifications and I don't know. It's been a lovely week offline. I mean, the worst bit arguably has, having to use my own imagination when having wank. That's been terrible. And no one wants to go there.
Fuck that shit.
No one wants to go there, but so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I can't really pinpoint specific lies. I know you've dropped them, and it's going to kill me, and I can't wait to watch conferences to find out what the hell you've done with me. Because I was so convinced. I was like, they're never going to get me. They're never going to get me.
Well, maybe we haven't. Maybe we haven't. We'll catch you next week, where we will be running through our predictions and how well we did. And again, if this is the first time you've heard us, that show tends to get heated, so it's well worth listening to. Thanks for living it, Matt. I love you.
It's been a good E3.
Goodbye.
Bye.